Good evening, viewers. We are here for the mid-season tournament for BOL Gold. We've got game one here between New World Esports Mercury and Conduit. I'm Shot Duck on the mic here with Arlan.
What is up, brother? How are you doing this glorious evening?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm eager to see some good League of Legends action as we hop right into the big ban phase. Both teams coming out with a Fury, getting rid of the quirky Urgot Nocturne on the side of New World. And for Conduit, taking away the Vex, taking away the Zeri, and taking away the Lilia. So more than likely, maybe a potential first pick Jinx, even with the recent nerfs. I don't think it's enough to push her out of the meta. Aphelios is still quite up there. Ash recently seeing some priority due to the recent buffs that she got. So um, quite open in terms of the bottom lane champ pool.
Yeah, Jinx feels like noticeably a little bit rougher. Like her mana pool early gets depleted
Mhm.
really quickly, but she's still super strong when it counts. We get a Pantheon.
Interesting first pick, the Pantheon. Definitely leaving yourself open to some counter picks in the top or mid, but it can also go support and jungle, right? So it's a very flexible pick, very open. Pantheon Senna, a viable option as well. Talia Pantheon also viable. So a lot of flexibility with this first pick Pantheon. I like it a lot coming out from New Worlds. Conduit opting for the first pick Jinx, and that just makes sense. That's this binary at this point. First pick the Jinx if you can get the opportunity to. And now comes the real struggle. What do you want to blind pick? Do you want to blind pick your jungle or your support and save the counter pick for R3 more than likely?
Yeah, especially getting the other high tier pick in Zeri off the table, being able to get Jinx on red side uh is interesting to say the least. Like you pretty much never see it these days, but NWE probably has a plan.
Mhm.
Kaisa looks like it's it.
Ooh, and that could be a mid Kai'Sa or a bot lane Kai'Sa as well. So still a lot of flexibility coming out from the draft of New World, and I like it a lot. And Shyvana, a super strong champ, a super dominant champ, especially with that new build floating around. I think it's like Frostfire into Demonic into Shadow Flame, and it just does too much damage over, and you take no
Uh,
damage overall. It's a really disgusting build, especially if you can play the champion. And I think into Trundle, you're allowed to play the Shyvana here. You're allowed to really get that farming style going, and Trundle has to really walk up and invade you. And if you have strong soul laners as the Kaisa, as the Pantheon, it's a really hard thing to do.
Shyvana does fall into the same flexible pattern as the rest of the picks because
Mhm,
I don't think she's optimal, but I have seen her she still gets played top lane sometimes.
mhm.
Um, so it's not totally locked in stone. It's most likely she is
Yeah,
going to go into the jungle.
yeah, more than likely get that early priority on the Drakes and try to secure those as fast as possible. And to do that, you need a strong pick into the Jinx. So now that the Nautilus is out of the way, they have the opportunity to counter pick for the spot lane, blind pick their mid laner, and or shuffle the Pantheon into the mid, or shuffle the Kai'Sa into the mid. Like whatever really works from New World. They have such an open draft, but one thing they 100% need is bot lane priority and mid lane parity. And what I mean by that is mid lane needs to be able to get priority when he needs it for the Drakes, but he needs to be able to lose priority so they can set up easy ganks for the Shyvana.
And a lot of really interesting bands. The double global bands coming out from NWE. I do like that.
Yeah, I like it a lot
Actually,
too.
triple globals with the Nocturne too.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah. So many global ultimates is taken off the table, and they really don't want you to influence the map from the other side of the map. So with Ari picked up by Conduit, very safe, very easy mid laner. Just pick it and you don't have to worry about mid lane for too much. You can pick the Victor into it. You can pick the Syndra, but the Syndra's gone, so very smart pickup by Conduit. Um, yeah, just a safe mid laner. Maybe I think you pick Vigar into it, and you can actually do very well into the Ari. But we will have to see. But New World instantly locking the set, so maybe it's a Pantheon support, maybe it's a set support. We don't really know anything besides that Shyvana is more than likely going into the jungle here.
Yeah, I want to believe it's gonna be set top Shyvana jungle. Maybe it's Kaisa Pantheon bot.
Could be. That's definitely an opportunity, and I think that could work very well. But
Huh?
no, I
and that
mean,
is locked
it
in.
is, yeah. I mean, Draven is so very good, especially with the new buffs right now. I
Yep.
think it can really, really work out very well in his favor. I haven't quite seen how the buffs have affected his play rate, his win rate overall. I haven't done that research on him just yet. I've been going through the other changes a lot more slowly, looking at where they lie. I think Ryze is in a better spot. I think Ashe is in a better spot. Jinx is in a more balanced spot. I think she's still pick or ban, but Draven definitely, definitely looking very strong. And with a Gragas counter pick,
That's the
where
Kappa Crusader special. That's
yeah,
going top lane.
where does set go? Is it set support? Is it Pantheon support? That's definitely Kai'Sa mid. That's definitely Shyvana jungle, but it's just really a toss up on this Pantheon and set pick here.
Yep. Yeah, the two of them could flip back and forth, and I wonder if both players play both picks, so they can try to game the countdown timers and see if they feel like the set does better into a Trundle top or Pantheon does better into Gragas top.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just really, really, really interesting. The one I'm most interested in looking at is this mid lane matchup. I'm really interested to see how Kai'Sa can play out into the Ahri. The Ahri, very, very dangerous, very like at level 6, I don't think Kai'Sa can really stay in the lane unless she has, the cleanse to keep herself safe from the charm. But even if that charm hits, even for that microsecond that it takes for you to press the cleanse button, I think that's enough for something really dangerous to happen. Quick pillar, Nautilus roam, Gragas roam. It's Jinx rocket from downtown. This guy has to play this lane very, very carefully, or else it can start a snowball that I don't think can really be stopped with Asari.
Yeah, the kill pressure at 6, super strong from Ari. It's gonna be the 1v1 seems like I want to say it's going to be really interesting. Just looking
Mm.
at the dashes into the dashes and the Kaisa ultimate shield, going to be super tough to keep track of. But yeah, uh, does Kaisa mid build full AP or is it the same like standard 80 carry build?
Yeah, it's full AP. It's full AP Kai'Sa mid. It's Manamune, Ludens into any AP item usually. Not usually looking at Mattress Tooth. I don't think that's what the pros build, but I have seen it floated around that you can build Mattress Tooth. It's of course fine. Um, but yeah. I think it's just whatever you want to build on this Kaisa, because right now she's just so dominant when you build her HP. And if you can hit those skill shots, those long range Ws, you're gonna do a lot of damage.
Yeah, yeah, the ARM special coming on to Summoner's Rift.
110%. Not just the ARAM special. Like you can I don't know if you want to build AD here, but it's still a viable option. It's still something you can go build a little bit of AP in your build, toss it in there, and start looking to burst down, chunk down these targets because it's not quite the most viable option, but like I said, it's still something you can go on here. Shyvana more than likely going to be building AP. Like I said, that tank Shyvana build that's been hovering around so very dominant. It's gonna slap some people up and it's gonna catch some people off guard.
Yeah, the there aren't a ton of super squishy champions for Shyvana to get onto if it is the AP build.
Mm,
Um, but the Ari and the Jinx definitely have to play safe until the Shyvana engage with ult is expended.
yeah, and interesting. So it looks to be the Shyvana top. It looks to be the set support, and it looks to be Pantheon in the jungle. Haven't seen a Pantheon in the jungle for quite a while now, almost 2 seasons. I think he's hasn't really been the best in the jungle for a while, and I think going into a Trundle here is really going to hurt him. I think Trundle has the perfect answer to set Pantheon in the jungle. I think of all the champions you had the opportunity to put into the jungle, I think Pantheon is one of the worst ones into Trundle. It can do a lot of damage early, but I think once you get roughly level 6, level 9 on Trundle, when he really gets the full cooldown reduction available on his Q, he can really run rampant through this Pantheon. He can keep him tied up in fights that he doesn't want to be in, even with his global ultimate. So, Shyvana in the top. I want to see how it does into this Gragas, but overall, looking at the state of the map, you really have to focus on this. It's honestly everywhere for the side of New World. They want to focus bot, but they want to win mid, but they want to win top. It's very interesting to see how they're going to drag Kaler all over the map.
Yeah, it makes more sense now with the Nocturne, the Shen, the TF bands, with the Pantheon being jungle, because that gives more opportunity to be all over the map with the ults than otherwise if it was a support pick. So I can definitely see what they're going for, that with the whole ban phase in general being worked around that pick.
Absolutely. I don't know. I find it very, very interesting, and I really want to. I think I have to get the draft edge over to the side of Conduit. I think their team comp doesn't have as many variables, and some would say that's a negative, some would say that's a positive, and I think I'm on the camp of where it's a positive. Less variables means less things you have to worry about, less things going wrong, and you can focus and really nail down the things that you have to get right, the things that are there and in your face and super easy to achieve. For the side of New World, they are a super dominant team. They're very good, but so many variables they have to worry about, so many people that they have to get off the ground, get gold, and keep alive that I think it can be a rough situation overall.
Yeah, there's definitely a much higher burden of execution
Mhm.
on NWE with the comp they picked.
Absolutely, and yeah, it's super super rough. It's like if Draven doesn't win the early lane, then it's going to be a while before we see a relevant Draven again, right? Like he's super good starting early with so much early damage, but after that he falls off in the mid game, and then he can come back and spike in the late game once he gets all his items. But by then, Jinx will have spiked, and it's such a harder spike that it doesn't even matter realistically.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But with that, we are going to send it to a break real quick while we wait for spectator to delay to tick down. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We are loaded into game, and the teams are spreading out.
And
Got yeah,
no, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, yeah. We've got NWE on blue side and Conduit on red, and we have a five-man invade coming out from Conduit.
And I suppose this should be
Oh,
expected. Set
the
gets kicked
perfect
up
hook
and
comes out from Nautilus into the charm, into the
ooh,
ignite, and Trundle with the first blood.
you know, it should be expected. You have a Nautilus on your team, so you kind of want to get that invade going early. You want to drop down some vision, get some control, and get that first blood. And very nice that you got on your jungler. He can start out with that longsword, start out with that refillable potion, so he can start looking to scale early, scale hard, and scale strong. Um, but yeah, the one thing you do want to highlight is that J8 or JJH did start the cleanse or sorry charm on Ari, so not the best start in the world. Just gonna let Kappa
Oh,
Crusader walk by. Oh no, he didn't even
oh!
drop a ward, and that's
I
gonna be
thought he
his
was gonna
jungler's
face
red
check
buff
that
snipe.
bush.
Oh no, that sucks so much for the Trundle here, losing your red buff so early, and means you won't have that sustain if it becomes a fight around the Scuttle Crab at around 315. Ah yeah, it sucks so much. Yeah, how does Shyvana lane into Gragas? Are you familiar with the Shyvana lane at all?
With the press the attack, I suspect we're going to be seeing a Bruiser AD Shyvana coming out.
Hmm.
So it's less about shoving the lanes. It's less about it's still about shoving, but it's less
Hmm.
about the big burst,
Right.
and it's the sustained damage, just running him down.
Ooh.
But Nautilus gets a hook. Draven in some shots.
Yeah, you wanna one thing I do think is interesting as well, as we see an invade come out from the Trundle here. One thing I do think is very interesting is that they opted to pick the Draven into the Nautilus matchup, not something that you typically see, something that's usually very dangerous.
There's
The
fighting on
Draven, but
both sides.
Kingo
Trundle and
doesn't have
Ari
flash.
running down the Kaisa. Ignite goes down.
Draven's flash.
JJH gets the kill onto Kingo. Now Trundle flashes in for the Pantheon. They're waiting on the charm cooldown, and Pantheon flashes out from JJH.
Oh, Dolo in the
Now
wrong spot,
sets
wrong
in a
place.
world of trouble.
Very nice flash.
Does flash over the red wall. Pantheon's keeping an eye there, but is low on health.
Nothing like a little bit of shenaniganery going on at the mid-season tournament, missing a stun up here in the top side. But one thing I find super interesting: how did Kingo lose his flash so early? Oh, as Boogie
Oh
gets
god,
hit
the pillar
by.
on Draven who has to flash to the other
Oh
side.
man, oh man, so many flashes blown early. I think yeah, there are no flashes left in this bot side of the map except for the Jinx and the Nautilus, and that's just something that can be huge, huge advantage if the Nautilus takes proper advantage of that. I don't know why that was so hard for me. But yeah, one thing I just want to highlight very quickly is why pick Draven into a relatively easy counter pick for the Nautilus, right? They pick themselves into this matchup. It's going to be Dolo getting hooked up under the turret here, pulling back
That
Rand.
pulls
At
Nautilus back into the turret, but
the end of the day, absolutely nothing can come of it because they just don't have the priority. They just don't have the damage. They don't have the HP bars to do anything. And again, they both have flash up. Nice
nice
charm in the
charm.
mid lane.
Full combo from Arion to Kingo.
Oh man, so much shenaniganery going on. We see another invade coming out from the Trundle here.
Oh, going for the 3 buff. Pantheon is half health, cannot walk up to Black Eyed Peas. Going
Uh,
to anyways.
and look at Kappa Crusader.
Kappa
You're at the
Crusader
wrong time,
joins in,
brother.
gets the body slam, gets the barrel. Pantheon puts up the shield, but Kappa gets the kill.
And honestly, it's just Conduit being at the right places at the right time where their jungler invades. They're more than willing to sack a few waves, to sack a bit of CS to get these super just to get this Trundle so far ahead. And it's not quite what I expected to happen at all. I thought it would be the other way around. The Trundle sacrificing some of his own waves to get other lanes ahead. And it's a mishook from Grand Fate here, as meaning
Oh,
they have opportunity to run on
Old
the
Man
Jinx.
Genetics has to flash away from the Draven axes. Now sets in there. The shield goes down. Chunk of damage. Pillar goes in from Trundle, ganking mid lane. The charm comes
Ooh,
out, and the
nice
cleanse
cleanse.
from Kaisa.
That was a very nice cleanse coming out from Kingo right there. And yeah, losing your flash in the bot lane on a play that you wanted to make, not the best thing in the world. Grand Fate missed the hook and Dolo saw his opportunity to go in. Very smart play coming out from the set, forcing Goldman Genetics to flash, forcing Grand Fate to flash. So now there are no flashes except in the top side of the map, and it's only on Kappa Crusader because Protomorph opted not to go for the flash here, opting to go for the Ghost to chase some people down in the later stages of the game. or to look for those early little cheeky kills. But it's going to be both junglers on the bottom side of the map, so maybe we can expect fireworks, and I think we can, knowing both of these teams how they played so far.
Yeah, Trundle is going to get spotted out on a ward, but Nautilus is going up, gets the hook onto Set. Nautilus gets taken out by Dolo. Set goes down. Black Eyed Peas gets that kill. Now Boogie's going in, trying for the all in. And it's a double kill to Black Eyed Peas.
Very, very nice double kill coming out from Bracklide right there. And right, honestly, it's just really rough. You saw the ward coming down, but by the time you sussed out why Grand Fate was walking up so weird, he was able to walk up, get the pillar onto Dolo, force him to either engage or die. And I think Boogie could have lived if he had left his support to die, but they did manage to turn back a single kill. As we see Kaler looking to
Pantheon
fight.
goes in. Kingo
Managed
joins the fight, but Black Eyed Peas gets away.
Yeah, at the end of the day, not too much to write home about. They saw the opportunity, and Protomorph used his ultimate up here in the top side, but didn't find any value off of it. More than likely, just using it to clear wave, just using it to shove, force Kappa Crusader to back. And that looks to be the strategy here. I like it. Use your ultimate that's relatively super low cooldown, right? Force him to back, force him to take really bad backs, and force him to use that teleport so you can have a teleport advantage later in the game. I like it a lot coming out from Protomorph here. I think he's playing this lane super well, not taking too many bad trades. Even though Capricorn Sayer doesn't have the grasp, he has the phase rush, but still, not too many bad trades. Very even in his laning, keeping about a 10 CS lead. I like it a lot coming out here from Protomorph.
Yeah, I suspect we're going to be seeing just a full AP burst Gragas coming out with the phase rush. I think the lack of grasp, the lack of tanky stats is going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, very telling. Dolo
They're
hitting the
going in
command
on
stun.
to Dolo in the bot lane. He gets rooted up on the traps. Here comes the pillar. That flash is almost off cooldown. The zap slows him down. It gets rooted by Nautilus passive again. And Old Man Genetics gets the kill.
Very nice of them to donate over that to the Jinx. And now we see a little bit of trading up here in the top side cap, but not quite proccing the phase rush, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Poking down Protomorph with the Qs, poking him down with the damage, and it's going to be more than likely first Drake as the pings are coming over. Mountain Drake coming out for the side of Conduit. And one thing you just want to look at, 2,000 gold already, 7 kills at 8 minutes, almost a kill a minute, and these guys are just fighting so very much in this laning phase. And I like it. I like an interesting match.
Yeah, these teams came out to play.
100%. And it is going to be Protomorph, again, using that ultimate just to try and clear the wave, get some HP back. Because it is a flat HP growth. It's not a heal or anything like that. So it's not stopped by Grievous Wounds. It's just flat HP gained.
Oh, there's a
So,
four-man coming in and bot.
uh-oh,
Grand Fate's
uh-oh.
on in behind them. Old Man Genetics throws down the traps. The hook goes wide.
They'll
There's
have
a
flash.
nice stun from the Set. Ari pops the ult, goes on the other side, but Set gets the kill. Grand Fate kills Boogie. But then Old Man Genetics finishes it off with the super mega death rocket.
Very nice super mega right there. Read the flash, read it perfectly. It sucks that JH put himself in that weird, awkward position. I think he dashed too far forwards on the Spirit Rush and was trying to get the reset when he got caught by the Haymaker.
Yep.
So yeah, dying with flash up on the Ari, not the best in the world, but it helps because he was one of the few members without a shutdown, right? So yeah, as long as it's not Black Eyed Peas or Old Man Genetics getting killed, it's very fine. Yeah, just using the ultimate for poke here, and it's
Yep.
gonna be. Oh, he forced out the ghost from Protomorph. Very, very nice stuff coming out from Kappa Crusader here. Really like his laning phase as well too.
Yeah, very little threat now that that ghost is down.
And again, Protomorph using that ultimate off cooldown just to try to get that HP growth back. Just try to kill the wave as much as possible with the long range Qs. But at the end of the day, he will be forced off. He will be forced to back on a relatively bad wave. A whole wave of minions and XP going to the turret. And like I said, nice laning coming out from Kappa Crusader to play this lane very, very well. And one thing we haven't seen a lot of is Kaler. Besides those early fights in the jungle, in his own jungle, Kaler hasn't been impactful on this map at all. Hasn't really gotten the opportunity to look for ganks and kills or anything. And when you have a Pantheon on your side, that's what you want to be using the Pantheon for. You want to be using those early cheeky ganks, early cheeky kills, and we haven't seen any of that. So really rough stuff coming out from the side of Kaler here.
Pantheon power spike, the usual like time of power for Pantheon is uh kind of slipping away with just having the serrated dirk and two longswords in his inventory. That's a pick that doesn't feel good when you're behind. And so I'm curious to see how Kaler plays it to try to get back in this game.
Yeah, me too. I really am interested because I think, on the side of New World, their comp doesn't scale quite as hard as Dolo getting hooked up here. I'm going to
Comes
pardon
in
that
onto
thought.
Dolo. Nice stun. There's the
There's a Grand
set alt
Starfall.
and the Pantheon ult comes in. Old Man
That's
Gen
not
X
enough.
gets the kill with the Super Mega Death Rocket. Now it's 3v3. One dead RE's coming in. Boogie gets a kill onto Grand Fate. And
Ooh, the
Genetics is
flash.
running away. The charm comes in. The rockets come through, and JJH gets a kill.
And I was saying they just don't scale as much on the side of New World right here. So they need these early kills. They need to try and fight to come back into this game. And it's just going to be Cap Crusader body slamming him away, taking away half his HP. I think he can look for an all in here.
Phase
I think he
Rush proc
realizes it.
comes through the big auto attack. But now Pantheon's putting up the shield. Oh, and Old Man Genetics flashes in under turret. And the barrel pops Protomorph up in top.
Wow, just fighting all over the map, and it's a very exciting game coming up from both teams. 17 kills at 11 minutes, both guys barely giving us time to breathe, and they just want to fight. They just want to fight. They just want to fight, and breaking down that fight that just happened. The bot side, a four-man collapse. Kingo putting himself into the middle of two melees. I think that was a little bit rough. You know, ult selection from Kingo. I think he could have put himself on the outside, so he wasn't gonna get auto attack down, but. Still, they picked up some kills. They got some shutdown off of Black Eyed Peas here, but the one person who shut down didn't get taken out is Old Man Genetics. 5-0 on the Shinx with first item reached at 12 minutes. The second person in the game to do so because, the jungler has had his Divine Thunder for about a minute or so. And
Now they're
Draven as
coming
well
in for
having
Dolo
his.
again. The hook
Oh,
lands.
Dolo.
Trundle dodges the stun. The Super Mega Death Rocket isn't enough to kill the set, though.
Oh, man, it sucks to be Dolo right now. But he just wants to get vision down, and they are just all over his bot side of the map. Black Eyed Peas giving them the camp.
Kaler goes in, but JJH is here. The charm goes wide. The Haymaker comes through, but Black Eyed Peas gets the kill. Draven ult isn't enough for the shutdown onto Grand Fate. They're running away. There's a lot of low health bars that need to be careful of
All
Draven.
the
The charm
time.
goes wide. Pantheon stuns Black Eyed Peas. Jinx is just running amok.
Oh my
Gets excited and gets out of turret range.
The Jinx is doing absolutely whatever she wants in this game, just playing it however she feels like. And ooh, these W's have to be very careful to be dodged away from by Grand Fate by JJ because they're on such low HP margins. Those will kill even through your shield. But
It's just a Sork shoes and Manamune though, so they're not hitting super hard just yet.
yeah, they're still hitting really hard though. Those things
Yeah.
will hurt, man, especially when you're 2 HP. But yeah, just looking at or JH, just one thing I want to see a little bit better from him here is his charms. Both of those charms we saw in that last fight, both of them went wide, both of them went flying off into the ether. So we could see just better charm hit rate. I think these fights would be won a lot harder because that extra CC, that extra damage that comes out when you hit a charm is immense, and it's going to be Kappa Crusader again in the top side, just poking out Protomorph so much, forcing the ghost out again. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, as soon as the phase rush procs Protomorph, unless they have their ult up, they're if they take a bad trade, they have to ghost to get away from Kappa's damage.
Yep. I mean, you just have to. But Kaler finally
Here's
looking good
Kaler
at
coming
up in the
in.
top side.
Oh,
Ooh,
a
nice
nice
barrel.
explosive cast to knock him away and disengage, and Kappa's walking out.
Man, I hate Gragas mains. I hate Gragas players who understand how to play the champion, man. It sucks so much. You can never gank them because they just do that, and then they just flash out, and then they body slam away. And how do you catch them? You can't. Especially not with Pantheon, especially not with Shyvana. You need a lot of CC up in the top side, and usually you have to draft a tank for that, right?
Yep.
Tank into tank, Gragas usually wins with his percent health auto attack, so it's super hard to really punish this Gragas early. But we see
They're
more
looking for
trading
Dolo
down here in
again.
the
Oh, the
bot
hook
side.
goes
Oh my
wide, but
god.
the rockets are coming out from Genetics and still doing a chunk of damage.
And using the ultimate as Protomorph. I think he's used the ultimate the most time in this game, but
Oh, Dolo
Dolo.
gets hooked in, gets ignited, and Genetics
Grand Star
gets the
Ball.
kill. Now Pantheon ult comes in, Draven's exhausted, throws out the ult. The shield boat isn't enough. Kaler gets the stun onto Genetics, and the
Bingo.
shield comes out, and that's 1,000 gold shut down to Kaler. And Grand Fate's running for his life.
Ooh, they missed the Q on Kaler. Just didn't anticipate it. Grand Fate throwing out the hook. That could have been disastrous if it hit a wall at the right angle. But, they're going to return that kill. Those 2 kills or few kills down there on the bot side with kills of their own, chasing down Protomorph here,
Red smoke
flashing on him as Black
flashing
Eyed Peas.
in from Black Eyed
Is that
Peas. Protomorph's getting run down, and Trundle gets the kill.
bruh? What else can you say except bruh? Because that just is a feels bad moment for him, Protomorph. You've been being beat up in this lane the whole time, then their jungler just comes up top with Rift Trail, flashes on you under your tier 2, and what else can you do? You just have to say bruh and walk away. But Dolo,
Oh,
half HP, JJ, man. With the Luden's Echo does so much damage. And they're going to be taking another
oh,
turret up
here's
here.
Kappa.
What?
Gets the combo onto Kingo, takes half his health. There's the Everfrost to disengage.
Oh my gosh. Right now, Conduit is just absolutely running the stuff, and they might be the first team to give New World their very first loss. It's really hard to come back from them, especially when you have such an early game draft that they drafted
Oh,
themselves.
Kappa just doesn't get taken into the base. The Haymaker goes wide. Trundle comes in with the pillar, and Black Eyed Peas just picks off Kingo.
That's why you pick Gragas. He can misposition all he wants, and you can't do anything to punish him. He's just gonna throw a barrel, and he's just gonna walk away. Misses the body slam right there, but it doesn't matter because they're gonna re-gank him. And oh, I feel so bad for
Uh-oh.
Protomorph here.
Kaler is on the right side of the map. The Everfrost comes in, but the unstoppable ult from Shyvana gets out.
Using your ultimate so many times so defensively, and they're just gonna take the tier 3, and it's only 17 minutes. That's an
And they're just
exposed
walking
inhibitor,
away.
bruh. What the dude? This sucks. This sucks to play Shyvana. This sucks, man. I feel so much for Protomorph. I've been on Shyvana top duty, and Shyvana top is not fun, especially if you're building full tank and you get behind Boogie getting dove here. It
The
doesn't look
Super
fun.
Mega Death Rocket goes wide, but the Nautilus ult doesn't. The hook comes in. The Draven ult almost does the trick.
Oh no, Grand
Doesn't
Fate,
come
what are you
back. And
doing?
Grand Fate,
Walking
one
under
too many
turrets there.
tower shots.
Misjudged the turret range there, and again getting bullied by a Gragas as Protomorph. Old
Ooh,
man
nice
Genetics
flash
splashed
over to
on.
Zap from Kaler, and that's another shutdown onto Old Man Genetics.
Oh, but he's using the ghost. He's gonna run the opposite direction. I think that's smart, running away from Kappa Crusader, but he didn't quite have the ultimate. I think if he did, it would have been a kill confirmed there. But yeah, they drafted themselves looking for a fun game with a fun team comp, and right now it's just Conduit not letting them have that fun. Although Kingo doing so much damage with that W, a very nice chunk there, and they're gonna be
Kingo
going in.
ults onto Black Eyed Peas. Nice escape from Kappa right there, honestly. Now Kappa's in the middle of enemy territory with not a lot of anywhere to go. Gets the Everfrost onto Kaler.
So many
It's the
enemies
barrel
just
slug.
surrounding them here.
JJH is in trouble now, has to Spirit Rush out.
And I think it's just gonna be Kappa.
Oh,
Ooh.
Set dodges the Nautilus hook with the ult, but now Kappa disengages with the barrel. Kingo gets ignited. Grand Fate gets the kill. Boogie is kiting back. Grand Fate's gotta run for it now. Kappa's running too. Oh,
You
Grand
know
Fate gets
what?
pulled back, gets the hook to the wall.
I
Kappa's
think he's
waiting
dead.
for his opportunity. Now Genetics has joined the
Oh.
fight. The big shield comes out. Another Everfrost. And Protomorph is joined, is looking for some revenge on Kappa after this
Oh.
whole game.
Yeah, and it's
Genetics is
just been
throwing out the
oh,
rockets.
the rocket.
He was not aiming for Boogie there, but
He
gets
was
him
not, but he found him
anyways.
anyway. Oh my gosh, there's so much in a
Black
Fiesta
Eyed
coming,
Peas
and it's gonna be
interrupts
Taylor.
the back from Kaler with the pillar. Goes in now. Dolo
Dolo gets
gets
slowed up. I think he's
slowed
dead.
by the zap. And Black Eyed Peas with the double kill.
Yep, a very North American game. Very, very 35 kills at 19 minutes. 8,000 gold lead roughly for the side of Conduit. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what else can you really say? It's kind of hard. Not a lot of macro is being done. They're just kind of running through the team of New World, and there's not a whole lot they can do to stop it. I think those early invades really put Kaler in a losing position. And like I said, Pantheon finds it so hard to play in this game. The ultimate getting
The
dropped
depth
down to
charge
Protomorph.
coming out. Protomorph gets knocked up, and Genetics is running this Shyvana down. Not even much running. Protomorph stood their ground.
Yep, and it's gonna be Kayla getting charmed up, cleaned up, and I think that's just a kill.
The Everfrost goes wide, but the Spirit
Oh,
Rush gets out, and JJH actually flashes away from Kingo's damage.
interesting. think I think that's an overall smart flash, and maybe we get another fight. No, there's no way they keep fighting. Yep, but I think Draven ultimate goes wide, just barely misses the Ari. Very nice stuff on the side stuff from JJ, but just a whole lot of fighting going on. Both teams not really
Oh,
giving the
a
other
lot
to
of burst coming
come
on to
back, and
Kingo. Kappa's
oh my
going for
god,
it. The Everfrost
he doesn't
just
care.
barely hits. The barrel comes in. Oh,
Ooh, nice
Killer
dodge.
Instinct saves Kingo. And now Kappa's running for it. Gets the barrel to slow down Dolo. That's not an escaping Gragas. They are going back in.
Oh my gosh.
Kappa survives. Genetics gets number 13.
You know, that Killer Instinct ultimate was pretty sick from Kingo. Dodged the barrel and dodged the Jinx ult, but at the end of the day, you left your support to die. 2 and 9 on the set, and oh man, it's just a rough situation. I can see why teams generally don't pick set here, as Kappa Crusader
Kappa gets
quickly getting
caught back
picked
in a
off.
risky situation.
Never mind, it's
And the
Gragas.
Everfrost.
Yeah, we probably thought any other tank or any other champion probably gets cut out there, but at the end of the day, like I said, Gragas runs the show. 2 items up here, completed boots, has enough gold to buy some extra damage, and he is just so very tanky, so very dangerous on this champion. Capra Crusader, honestly, 10,000 gold lead at this point. Get Baron, they can group mid, look to end, group top. Top's automatically already pushing for them. The inhibitor is down. They can group bot. It's really just New World, just kind of, you know, they just they lost this game from minute 2 or minute 1 onwards, and it just hasn't been their game since. It's so rough. They've had the opportunity to try and come back, but I think Boogie's getting caught out here.
He's trying to run. The depth charge comes out. The charm lands from JJH, and Black Eyed Peas gets another.
Oh man, they're just running the show. It's so very hard for New World to try and come back here. Very nice ward. Spots Kingo there. Takes a nice chunk of damage. And yeah, they're just going to group 5. I think they realize how strong they are. 12,000 gold from the side of Conduit. They're going to be looking to hand New World Mercury their very first loss here in Blue Otter League Gold.
Sets in on the back line, and Black Eyed Peas gets ulted in, but flashes out. Now the Haymaker is down. Kaylor
Oh, he
jumps
finds
in,
him.
gets the kill onto Genetics, but Grand Fate gets the return kill, and
That's
ICW takes out the Siege minion.
interesting flash coming out from Grand Fate. I guess he was very scared of the Draven ultimate trying to snipe him out. So, uh, okay.
Kappa with the flash in.
All right. I see you, Kappa. Nope, my fault, OG. He's just doing what he wants. I respect it. I respect it so much. It's Protomorph
is
getting so
ghosting away.
low. Yeah, even with their Jinx dead, they still managed to find kills. They still managed to find a turret, and they still managed to find the inhibitor. It's just Conduit, just flexing their money bags right now. So much gold, and it's all where it needs to be. It's all on top of this Trundle. It's all on top of this Jinx, and just now JH reaching that second item power spike, but it is equalized by Kingo. Kingo not too far, only 500 gold down, which I think is the closest gold deficit in the game. Yeah, it is. So it's really on Kingo to try to find these crucial ultimates, these crucial Ws, these crucial multi-man Qs that do too much damage. But I don't think they're really giving him the opportunity to do that. Maybe if Kaylor finds Old Man Genetics again, gets another pretty penny shutdown on himself, maybe they have a chance coming up from the side of New World.
Yeah, and they've got to figure something out in the next 40 seconds. The 4th dragon for this Cloud Soul is coming up for Conduit.
Ooh, Dolo getting hooked up, and he didn't take too much damage since it was only Grand Fate right there, but it definitely doesn't feel good. It definitely doesn't feel good.
Oh, Kaylor's in the wrong place at the wrong time. Gets body slammed, gets killed. Now the depth charge coming out on Boogie. The pillar comes out, flashing over the wall. Nice escape from Boogie. Set. Not as lucky. But
oh, that was super good dunk.
He does go down. Now Protomorph is halted in and looking for trouble. Genetics isn't actually even in this fight, so Kingo goes in with the Killer Instinct. Protomorph gets the kill onto JJH. Grand Fate is running for their life. Kappa's still just kind of hanging around, pretty healthy. Now Genetics is joining the fight while Protomorph is chasing.
On the wrong side of town.
Grand Fate gets the hook in, but Aftershock doesn't save him from Protomorph.
That was a really good fight coming up from the side of New World. They were able to just, find the target that they needed to. Dolo with a great ultimate under tower to bring back Black Eyed Peas in the middle of his team, into the middle of his damage. And then JJH just overextending just a little bit there on the RA with the Spirit Rush. Died with Flash Up, and it was Kingo, I think. No, it wasn't Kingo who found that kill. Shyvana, Protomorph finding that kill. So very nice shutdown going down to the RA, and it is going to be the Blade of the Rune King. So you were right about that. It's not going to be the AP Bruiser tank Shyvana build, but it's going to be the AD version of that. So still pretty rough, especially when you're this far behind. I think it really does thrive when you're ahead and they are too little damage to kill you. But
Yep.
when you're behind, it just feels so awful to play. And I think especially when you're into 3 item Jinx, who just now has completed that last Whisper.
Yeah. The damage coming out of Jinx is pretty unreal right now.
3 items, has the Kraken Slayer, has the IE, has the Runan's Hurricane, and like I said, last Whisper completed. As long as Kaler doesn't find the lucky kill again onto Old Man X, I think they just end this game realistically. I don't think there's any way for New World to come back, and that's going to be a wide hook going out from Grand Fate. But the W's starting to finally stack up damage coming up from
Oh,
Kingo.
Boogie gets charmed by JJH and gets taken out. Oh, now
Kaler
Kaler
getting
gets
hooked
hooked
again.
in, gets knocked up, even though he wasn't the target of the death charge. JJH gets the kill, and Dolo gets taken out after ulting Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, look at that Q.
Oh, the killer
Oh, the
instinct comes out,
rockets.
and Kingo gets JJH. Now Protomorph ults in. It did pop the ghost, and the flash in from Genetics. The Super Mega Death Rocket gets the double kill.
That's the GG's coming out, and that is New World getting absolutely destroyed there. 39-15. A huge gold lead, simply outrageous, and it is going to be Conduit Esports running the show. Ooh.
That was a spicy one. It's good to see. I played with Cap a couple of years ago on a team, and even back then, it was
Mhm.
always as soon as he's on the Rift, you ban Gragas, and that has not changed.
Yeah, he just got a 4-1-10 on the Gragas. Very good performance, and he went full AP. Well, kind of full AP. He has 2 AP items and a tank
Yeah,
item. So, it felt like he was a tank the way he was just running through their damage and surviving for no good reason at all. Black Eyed Peas doing very well on the Trundle. Old Man Genex, of course, overperforming on the Jinx. And JJ8's the only low performer, I think, coming up from the side of Conduit. I think his Jinx, or sorry, his Ari was a little bit rough there. Um, but definitely did really good into their team. Found the charms when they mattered. Just sometimes the charms went wide and those early skirmishes, but when they were important, when he needed to land them, he landed them.
yeah. JJH was a really came in really clutch with contributing to the super obnoxious CC chain that Conduit laid on in these fights. When Nautilus would get the hook, the charm would come in, and just that one target would get picked down and had no chance.
Yeah, I think that's a really good strategy. They focused on that one target. They find the one target in the first place, and they focus them down regardless if they're tank or Kaler with the immortality and vulnerability, or Boogie with being an ADC or Kingo or whoever. Really, they found whatever they needed to find. They CC changed them until they weren't able to move, and then they just let Old Man Genetic reset, and then they won the fight from there.
Yep.
But yeah, who's next? Remind me who's next?
Next, I do believe we're gonna have Clown Gaming Jesters
Ooh.
versus SON.
Interesting one coming up right there. I'm eager to see what they do, and this, yeah, good luck to Conduit as they advance further in the tournament.
Yep. You're gonna throw it to it. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I was waiting for you to do the thing.
Yeah. Sorry. My bad. My bad.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah.
Oh God, we were still live, weren't Welcome back, everyone. We are here for game two of the Gold League midseason tournament for Blue Otter League. We've got Clown Gaming Jesters versus Sun Goku. I'm Jeeves here with Arlan.
Yeah, welcome back, G's. We're here for game number two. Like you said, it's CG Jesters versus Son Goku. And yeah, just getting right into the bans. Ari getting taken, or sorry, Ash getting taken away. Like I said, she's been seeing a lot more priority now ever since those buffs. I don't quite think it's enough to put her into the A tier of AD carries, but if you can definitely play her, take her away, right? And I think that's what CG Jesters, that's what they're thinking about. So Lux, Syndra, Victor, a lot of mid lane bans, one mid lane support flex ban as well. They're looking to really limit that mid lane champ pool as much as possible, and Malzahar getting taken away as well. Both sides are really just focusing down this mid lane champ pool as much as they can.
Yeah, really interesting to see that much focus, leaving a lot of priority picks open. All the prio jungles, and yeah, Zeri getting picked up. That's exciting.
Ever since those Zeri nerfs, though, I don't think she quite has the same in level impact that she once did. I think it takes too long for her to reach that O level strength she would have had at, say, 2 items. Now it takes her a solid 4 items, I think, to get to that strength. And even then, you're still going to be lacking quite a bit in terms of other AD carries they could have picked up. I think Hecarim is also a bait pick because I feel like you have to devote too much of your draft to make him work. You have to usually devote around 40% to 60% of your draft to make this Hecarim work. And if you can't get those other picks off the ground, if they can't get into good matchups of their own, then Hecarim pick is going to feel really, really weak. And I don't know. I just don't think it's the best one in Desert, but we will have to see. J4, I like it a lot. A very standard, simple pick. And what do you pick? What do you counter pick the Nautilus with? I think they might have made an error picking the Nautilus so early. Well, you have quite a lot of options, but I think the first and foremost one is the Morgana.
How does Morgana pair up with Zeri? I'm trying to think about it. And the champ gets banned more often than I would think in these games. Like she was banned last game, but
Mhm.
Zillion.
I think, well, it's going to be the Zillion, so they're just taking away to keep the Zillion Hecarim combo away from them. But I think the the Zeri Morgana matchup, just speaking hypotheticals now, so I think that is a support Zillion. I think the Zeri Morgana matchup is very, very good, but again, it has to be into the right stuff. I think Zeri, like Jinx, is one of those AD carries who doesn't really care what she's played with, as long as in the support role there's parity or domination coming out from your side. If she is the one with the weaker support, then she kind of gets, dominated as well, and she doesn't feel good at all to play. But if she's the one with the strongest support or an equal support to the opponent, then she feels great to play. She feels really fun to play. But it will be the Vexen, not the Oriana, getting locked in from Son Goku. So not devoting the draft resources mid, not maybe top side. We might see a top Karma coming out, but this hacker right now feels very, very rough to play. They don't have a enchanter support to buff them up. It's just going to be the Nautilus. So interesting to see what they pick up, and it's going to be this is the Lulu getting banned away from CG Jesters.
Yeah, I think in the context of the draft that we're looking at with the support bans coming out and the Vex being locked in third pick red side, I suspect we're about to see Zillion instead of support.
Yeah, potentially, but we'll have to see because at the end of the day, there's still a bit of flexibility on the side of the Jesters. And Son Goku, they're pretty set in their ways. We realistically know where everything is going to go. But it's
Yep.
going to be a Urgot ban, looking to ban towards the top side, looking to blind the top side, counter pick whatever they pick in the bot lane. But I think it's going to be hard no matter what for CG Jesters because they just blind pick their AD carry here and it doesn't really matter. Um, I think he would have been better off pinching the AD carry chat pool, maybe take away the Jinx, maybe take away the Aphelios, because we already saw how strong the Jinx Aphelios is in the last game, and leaving that up might spell some doom. Samira as well, a super strong option I think with the Nautilus, and especially with the buffs that Samira gets. I think at Desert she can definitely make it work. It might be a little bit too hard to catch her in the later stages of the fights, but in the early game, where she doesn't have the dash, where she doesn't have the movement speed, it can definitely work out.
I think just a really interesting choice going for if you have to ban one AD carry pick, going for Caitlyn there is like while she's strong, I
Mhm.
don't think Caitlyn's like S tier right now. Like you have picks like
Mhm,
Kaisa, Jinx, Draven, uh, situationally Twitch that feel stronger.
mhm.
Um, and maybe that's just going for a comfort pick off of Sun Goku.
Yeah, I think the AD carry position is in a really good spot right now. I think all their most of them are really strong or viable in some option or another, and I think Caitlyn it falls into the category of situation will be super strong. And in this particular situation, it's into the Zeri. Caitlyn hard counters the Zeri, makes it really unplayable for the champion, and I think it's smart from them. It's good to ban it away, but they instead get the traditional combo of Nautilus Kaisa, and they're going to look to really put some early pressure on them opting for the Leona matchup, so it's going to be a really short range bot range right here, bot lane right here. Not in,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a lot of fighting down here, I expect. And Darius getting blind picked in the top side. So what do you pick into it? You can pick whatever you want because realistically, he's going to have a hard time. I think you pick Karma here, and she can scale very easily, and it allows you, like I said, to play for the Hecarim. Maybe even a Soraka Enchanter top meta stuff, and Darius will find a hard time playing it, but it's going to be the Trundle picked up. Interesting.
So we're probably going to see just a hard split push focus from the Trundle. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like Flash Ghost out of Darius to just maintain fighting power. Probably the map is going to get split solidly 4-1 pretty much all game long.
Mhm. Yeah. Think the Darius can win the matchup, but it requires more on the Trundle of not playing the lane properly than the Darius playing the lane properly. It's like super hard for Darius to do something unless the Trundle makes a mistake here, right? So yeah, he's not gonna have a fun time. And even if he does get the push into the Trundle, which I very much doubt will happen, he has to worry about a roaming Vex, a roaming Hecarim, just showing up in his lane and beating him up. Because I just don't see the Zillion having enough priority over the Vex, especially before the first item, for him to really stop a Vex roam if the Vex really wanted to leave lane.
Yeah, Zillion's a super good point to bring up there because I think a lot of the power of this team rests on the question mark that is Zillion.
Mm,
If that pick falls flat, if they don't get going, the Jester's team comp is going to feel like it's kind of lacking in damage. It's lacking in, but when Zillion like properly does Zillion things, it becomes this singularly frustrating
mhm.
being on the map. Um, and it's not one you see much these days. So I'm really curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, he's really annoying if played properly, and I think they don't have too much to worry about. I think realistically, the only viable ult target for Zillion here is just either himself or Zeri. But one thing you have to realize is that the Jesters are lacking in that last little bit of consistent magic damage. The bombs from Zillion, very inconsistent, very, hit or miss, right? He has to hit the ability for them to do damage. And then they have not even a decently long cooldown. It's a cooldown though, right? And that's
Yep.
the end of the day. You have to realize that he's still a mage. He still has cooldown, so it's not going to be consistent magic damage, like someone from Oriana who still has auto attacks or who has really short ult or Q cooldowns, or Syndra really short Q cooldowns, or Victor really short Q and E cooldowns. So this Zillion really has to be on point with his bombs and really has to be able to pack quite a punch whenever he does land them. Whenever he lands those multi-man stuns, and yeah, it's really just looking at the Zillion right here to do a lot of work for the CG Jesters, and maybe too much work. Maybe too much is on the plate of the Zillion here, considering that he does have to play, you know, like I said, sole AP. So really looking at Zillion, really looking at this mid lane matchup, Vex and the Zillion, how that plays out. And another area of contention is the Trundle into Darius matchup.
Yeah, Trundle into Darius. It's such like a simple stat check lane. I feel like
Mhm.
there's like there's micro decisions that can swing the individual trades, but for the most part, really is just whoever gets ahead gets that one little item lead is probably going to take over the lane. Um, But the map rotations have to be on point for the jesters. Like if they call Darius down, Trundle is going to take multiple towers when left alone. Um, so it's a delicate balance they have to tip.
Yeah, absolutely. This Darius needs to be so precise about his wave management. He needs to keep it under his turret, preferably, and he needs to be able to keep it at such a rate whereas even though Trundle is trying to push it, he just cannot push past the wall that is Darius and his own turret minions, right? He needs to be able to protect that turret by keeping it close to himself because if he overextends, like I said, he will get jumped on immediately and we will force flash, ghost, or both, or even worse, getting both out and then dies anyway. So, like I said, his wave control needs to be precise to the point of like where he's calculating individual minion HP and how much they actually stack up to the wave, and it's so much little micro calculations coming out from Darius here. I just don't envy his position at all because really, realistically, Son Goku's top lane just has an easy job of pushing Darius. Don't make mistake where we tower dive Darius and kill Darius whenever he oversteps. It's a lot easier coming out from the side of the Trundle here.
Yeah, yeah, way less on the troll's shoulders here. He almost just can get away with not dying as long as that goal is accomplished.
Mm,
Kind of Trundle has succeeded.
yeah, absolutely, I 100% agree. If like you don't even need to get kills because you'll just get turret plates. You'll just get the turret as long as you're just maintaining a constant, steady stream of pressure into the Darius, not letting him do too much, and making sure you're properly warded, properly covered with those wards, and respecting the J4, respecting the long range Leona roams, right? Because those are still an option,
Yep.
not a viable one, but I think still an option.
We haven't talked as much about the bot lane, but
Volatile, in a word,
yeah,
volatile.
yeah, I think it's just going to be whoever gets the jump on the all in gets the damage in first and wins like the mental aspect of the trade.
Mhm.
Because once a Kaisa's health bar starts flashing low, they're less likely to do the right thing in there. So whoever gets the jump, like, should have the lead. And there are shields for Zeri to steal with the ult between the Nautilus, between the Kaisa. So I
Mhm.
think there's good room for the Zeri to be super impactful in those fights.
Yeah, normally I think I would agree with you. Whoever gets to jump first wins the fight, but I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you this time. Jeez, I think whoever gets to jump first loses this actually, and here's why I say that. Usually, you know, when you get the jump first, you can get that initial burst of damage down, and it's super easy to act on. However, Kaisa and Zeri are both equally hate minions, right? Kaisa hates the
Mhm.
minions because they can distract from the main focus of a Q. It can really split the damage across multiple targets. It can also block a W. And Zeri hates minions because they block all of her damage at the end of the day. They block her W, they block her Q. She can E through it, but it's not enough damage to really justify it. So I really think whoever goes in second, turns it around, kites out the damage, and then re-engages, I think that's the one who wins it. And I think if Kaisa and Nalus do that every single time, I think they just win this lane. However, if Zeri and Leona are able to re-engage off of Kaisa and Nautilus going in, I think they can win this lane alternatively. So it's really, I think it's just up to the supports to realize that and play kind of cautiously in this bot lane.
Okay. Yeah. We will see how this plays out. There's a lot of question marks in the air. There's a lot of room for individual outplays here.
Mhm.
But with the spectator delay ticking down, we are going to throw it to a brief break. Don't go anywhere. We are going to load into Clown Gaming Jesters versus Sun Goku. Welcome back from that brief break, everyone. We are loaded into game, and it looks like we are getting 5 points after that exciting five-man invade we had last game.
Yeah, last time they didn't even give us time to talk about anything. They just went into a fight, and I was, as much as I enjoyed it, I was kind of like, man, I wish I could talk here. I wish I could talk about something. But yeah, now this time, both teams being a little bit more respectful to us, both allowing us to talk. So let's talk. What are we looking at in terms of the bot lane? Well, one thing we should highlight is that the Nautilus is going for Glacial, whereas Leona going for the Aftershock. That's an interesting little disparity. Normally you see Leona's going for the Glacial as well, but I guess he values the tankiness on this in this game a little bit over the damage reduction that Glacial does. In terms of other runes, not too much to write home about. And Darius does have the ghost instead of teleport. So a lot less in terms of side lane pressure. It really will just be Evil Gambit more than likely getting to run the show in the side lane.
Is lethal tempo standard for Zeri?
For Zeri, yes, yes, for Zeri.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes her Q longer range. It doesn't actually look longer range, which is interesting, but it does shoot further. Right? It
Uh,
makes sure to add that interaction in there. Um, yeah, it's a weird looking rune when it's actually gets used, but it definitely does work for the Zeri. I think Pressy Attack can work just fine for her, Conquer as well. But still, Lethal Tempo is just the best option for her.
cool. Okay. I swear to God, I've seen this champion in game before.
Bro, I promise she's been picked. I promise.
Yeah, yeah. It feels like most of the time she just winds up on the ban list.
Yeah, normally, even with the nerfs, I think she just is too strong, but it will be level two
Oh, the
achieved
hook
first.
lands onto Zeri. Chopo
Oh my
gets the
god.
engage, and Berries gets first blood.
Maybe I was wrong about the level two, first one to engage is the first one to lose because when you get level two first, they don't respect it. They don't back up off the wave far enough. You're just able to walk up and do that, and you're able to get first blood onto the longsword start Kaisa. Very, very nice coming out from them. Gets a double longsword, gets the reset early, gets boots. Very strong start already. And one thing you have to look at, the pathing from both junglers, both pathing towards the top side of the map. So top side looking to be the battleground for both teams, it looks like. I doubt they're going to go mid, but that's always an opportunity to trying to flex the early damage that Zillion can provide, especially when he goes with this summon area setup. But regardless, we're going to have to see what Kopek, what Captain Can't Carry do exactly.
Kopek is gonna come out of the jungle with a one camp because Captain Can't Carry didn't go. There's a fight in bot, and Berries gets jumped on by Gurknives, and Berries flashes and cleanses out of it.
Very nice cleanse to get rid of the ignite. Very nice flash to flash away from the Zera, who also flashed. So really nice stuff coming out from the side of berries. Not the best thing in the world. Not exactly what you want to see when you come back to lane with such an advantage. But Giffian did manage to hit level 6, or sorry, level 3, not level 6, before berries. So that explains the trade discrepancy. But levels now again equalized, CS equalized, and it will be the bot lane. It will be the bot lane moving into the jungle, looking to put some vision down in Sun Goku's side. Yeah, they're going to see that the bot side is entirely cleared. So resets for the junglers come out. First item Sheen. First item Ruby Crystal plus boots. So equal gold, but you have to give the strength over to Kopek.
Yeah, the combat stats are for sure. Oh, nice
Oh,
dodge
the
on the
hook.
hook
There's the
from
precision.
Gypsy, and now Captain Can't Carry is going in. Gurknives gets the stun, and the knockup still comes through onto Kopek, but Nautilus gets out.
Have him
Now
carry.
Kopek's in there for backup.
Yeah, Cadman can carry. Very nice, roam coming down to the bot lane. Drop some damage on top of Jobo, and it's going to be a quick little trade in the top side of the map, but again, you can see why people pick the Trundle into the Darius. It doesn't really matter, but he did get the heal.
Oh, the Trundle, the pillar comes in. CH Gaming needs to watch out. There are a lot of minions firing on him. The ghost comes out. Yeah. Yeah, that Darius is running.
Yeah, very nice ghost. And honestly, I was maybe anticipating the flash Q auto coming up from the Darius, and I think maybe Gambit was anticipating it as well. Look how far back he stayed, and now he just gets to heal up off of the minion deaths, and just sucks so much to be this Darius here, using that ghost so early for free, and it's not the best trade in the world. But will be a reset coming up from the side of Gambit, and maybe this is something that CH Gaming can take advantage of, like because like I said, he needs to keep that wave frozen exactly at where we stated he needs to keep it frozen, right in front of his own turret, where Trundle has to overextend to grab minions to grab CS, and I like it. He's keeping it exactly what we said. He knows that the reset comes through. He knows that his jungler is in the top side of the map, so he's not feeling worried about a dive or anything, and he can even kill the Trundle if he comes back. So very nice laning coming out from the side of CH Gaming, even though he is down a ghost.
Yeah, getting back with a 14 CS lead is super good for them. And honestly, even just timing wise, getting back to base to shop while they likely had a suspicion that Hecarim was on the topside camps. Um, just really good timing.
Very good timing, and that's a hallmark of a good jungler, being able to track the opposing jungler like that and be able to tell your laners, tell your buddies like, hey, they're probably on this side of the map. We should be careful, especially you top laner. Ills trying to get a little cheeky trade in the mid lane, not too much, but let's talk about the mid lane here. We see the Zeri such low mana. We see the Zillion with such high mana, and it's going to be that early tier buy that he got that just allows him to bomb the wave so many times and just run the show realistically. So very nice laning coming out from the set of kills. Down about a wave or so, but both Friend and Fry on the Vex not able to take too much of advantage of that. Level 6 ultimates reached, so now we can expect to see some fireworks pop off in the mid lane. Maybe both junglers opt to visit there. I'm not quite sure. It will be Kopek picking up a wave in the mid lane, so boosting up this Hecarim even more, and it's gonna hurt a little bit once this Hecarim starts to hit those item spikes.
Oh, Knives dodged the hook, but I feel like it would have been a better fight if they let that hook land, honestly, because Captain Can't Carry was there to join the fight.
It
And since
definitely
it,
would have.
yeah,
It definitely would have been such a better fight if they had just let it happen, but they realized that the J4
got
is
a
down there.
3v3.
Potential 3v3 coming
Oh,
through.
Captain
Kopak.
Can't Carry
Ooh, nice.
goes in with the flag and drag, but a Hecarim ult comes through, doesn't get much of a fear. The Cataclysm
Oh.
comes out and buries is stuck in there. And now the mid laners are joining the fight. Fiendfire goes in. Zillion does bring back Gypsy, and Kopak goes down. Now Zeri's firing the laser over the wall, and
1
oh my
HP.
god, the Zillion auto after the flash takes out Jobo.
That was nice, folks. And it's going to be potential dive if Fiendfire doesn't get out of town, and he will back up there. So they're taking some plates. They're getting a lot of gold. And that was a very nice roam from both sides of the map. Both mid laners roaming down that there. But at the end of the day, it will be Jesters coming out on top right there. Vivian taking a little bit too much poke damage. We see a pull up in the top side, potentially a fight. No, both sides opting back off there. And a contra to our expectations, it is the Trundle down CS, feeling super threatened by this Darius who rushed, armor boots. And honestly, I would too. That's such a huge nerf to my own damage.
I had looked when CH Gaming initially went back, and they had at first bought the axe that's the component of Triforce
Uh-huh.
and Stride
Ooh,
Breaker rather.
no hard
And
fight.
yeah, and I did not realize they hit undo as Knives is getting caught out in the
Oh,
river, and
Leona.
Fiendfire cleans up the kill.
Very nice pickup from them. Leona just overextended in a really awkward spot. I think warding the blue buff. But
Yep.
that blue buff ward just isn't worth it when you have to give up the Drake to get it. Your jungler not on that side of the map, so that ward is absolutely useless. It doesn't give you any information, and it allows Kopek and squad to pick up a very free, very early Hextech Drake. And good damage coming out from kills there, but not enough to offset the fact that they just lost that early Drake, and they could potentially lose more if they keep going for plays like that. But it will be Captain
Cloud
Cat Carry.
coming next.
Oh yeah, Cloud Drake coming up. Very nice. But Captain Cat Carry in the top side of the map. Do they look for the dive? I think that's what's being set up here. The wave not quite big enough, quite not quite reached that midpoint yet. Maybe just looking to bait Evil Gambit into a bad fight. or potentially looking for the dive. Nope, Captain Kankari says, nah, waiting too long. Backs off. Very nice stuff. Has about a 10 CS lead in the jungle, which translates about to 2 camps, worth a little bit more than 2 camps right there. So very nice, but it's something that Kopek can definitely make up for.
Actually, really interesting seeing Jarvan leading in farm, especially with that Hecarim. Uh, that's just super not what you're used to seeing with the single target damage versus Hecarim just AoE farming everything.
Yeah, generally you usually see the Hecarim hard out farming most matchups, and I won't not to say that J4 isn't a good aggressive power farmer, but normally it's him usually getting out farmed by most jungle matchups, especially into Hecarim, like cause like you said, a power farmer. But I think it's just Kopek taking sometimes the wrong paths, and it's just Captain Can't Carry having the little bit of micro down over his opponent that just allows him to path more efficiently and look for better kills, better ganks, better setups like that. But it is just going to be a lull in the action. 3 kills to 3 kills and 1,000 gold lead over to the side of the Jesters. While the kill had, or sorry, the turret, or the Drake. I can't believe I messed that up so many times. The Drake has gone over to the side of Son Goku.
Mid laners took a second to roam, but neither neither lane was actually in a position to do anything.
Oh, but
It's an
look at Captain Can't
interesting.
Carry.
Jarvan's coming in for a lane gank. The Leona ult misses. Zeri
Oh,
gets
Zobo
hooked in.
wanted to go back
Gypsian's
in.
in trouble, and Nautilus flashes out. Captain Can't Carry gets the kill with the Cataclysm.
Oh, Jobo, you should have just lived, my friend. You could have lived. You should have run away. But hooking back in there meant the end of your life. Captain Can't Carry, right place, right time. Picks up that kill 4-3 in terms of kills. About roughly nearing that 2,000 gold mark. And Fiendfire getting poked out so heavily by this Zillion here. And it's so hard for this. It's so hard for Vex to play into control mages. It's so hard.
Yeah, the it caught me off guard because like in the early times I would see Vex play, the champ just looked really strong in general, but seeing Vex versus mobile dashing champions versus seeing Vex versus something like a Zillion is just so night and day. Oh, and
Oh!
Kill speed boosts himself out of the fear zone on Kopek's ult.
Yeah, that and Kopek, I think, just overshot the fear. Went way, way too far in that one, buddy, and it just kills walking out without having to pop even a flash, an ultimate, nothing. I just got up with a speed boost, and yeah, I really hate to see it if you're a Kopek right there. Very, very sad sight. But like you were saying, it really sucks to play Zeri into most ranged matchups, especially if it's a control mage, because they can really just CC you, and if you step up too far, look to kill. Her worst matchup being Syndra, her second worst being probably Oriana and Victor, and Zillion, I imagine, ranks up there quite high as well.
Kills has been definitely putting in work. Like the bomb hit rate, at least when directed camera shows me mid, the bomb hit rate has been pretty high. But now we've got Vex ganking in bot. The ult goes
Ooh.
wide. The dredge line gets Gypsy in though, and Fiendfire gets the kill anyways.
Very nice roam from the Vex here. Sees her opportunity to make a play and just takes it. Picks up a third kill, which is more than enough to make up for the CS loss that they will lose in the mid lane. And it doesn't even matter because they already have a CS lead for themselves in the mid lane. About a wave or so. Only 8 CS and it's going to close pretty soon. But still, very, very good stuff. And honestly, one of the few lanes to be winning in terms of just raw CS. Top lane losing pretty hard, almost 60 CS down up in this top lane. Bot lane, not quite as bad, only 2 or 3. And it, you know, jungle, he's managed to equalize that Kopek. Once he got his first item, Hearthbound Axe has been able to equalize the CS lead that we were seeing, that CS disparity that Captain Can't Carry had. But Captain Can't Carry opting for a tank build, whereas Kopek looking for more of a bruiser style build.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting because I feel like I've seen most Hecarims in my games go for the Chem Tank build rather than this Triforce that Kopek's going for. That's definitely how Hecarim used to be. That was always a big fan of Triforce, so I like seeing it coming back. Uh,
Yeah. Ooh, nice bomb. But yeah, I 100% agree. I think the tank build is better. I think he's just kind of busted with the tank build. But like I said, when you don't have the facilitators for the Hecarim, it feels really rough to play tank because you just don't get any extra damage. You just don't get any extra move speed. It just really sucks to play. And Yiptian clearing out two wards at once, and that's the power of Zarya, folks. You can do that night and day, anytime you want, but it will be the play coming out on the mid lane. I think Zillion just runs out there, speed buffs out, and yeah, I think they have just complete control of this dragon side of the map, and with Captain Can't Carry taking the Rift Herald, I think this is their opportunity just to take it away. But I don't think they
they're
know that.
walking away from it though, so it's a good
Oh,
call from Captain Can't Carry. Gonna get this Herald for nothing. Traded.
yeah. And honestly, this is a really good call from Captain Can't Carry because normally you would be trading this at this moment, right? You think, okay, they're taking the dragon. You know, we have to trade the Drake for the Rift Herald for the dragon. So it really feels bad when you have to trade it. But with them not opting to take it at all, you can pick up this Rift Herald and you can look to rotate bot and potentially contest this.
Have vision.
Do they get the steal? Nope,
Oh,
not even close. Not even close. But speaking of not even close, is Captain can't carry Rift Herald on top side of the map. He's looking for Gambit. Doesn't quite find the flag and drag, but one thing they can find is that first
oh,
turn. It's just a
flash
flash
in
into the
from
Jobo.
Jobo and not the depth charge goes on to Zeri, but she's taking no damage. There's the killer instinct from Berries, and Kopek comes in,
First flash both sides.
flashes out from Gypsy and Knives, and it's just Jobo going down.
Like I told you, first person goes in, it's the first person to die. And this time it wasn't Knives. It was Jobo looking for the flash hook, looking for the play, the hero play to find a kill. But Gypsian just has too much damage on the Zeri. And a very nice response with the ultimate from Gyves to force out the flash, to force out the cleanse from Berries means that you can't do enough damage to burst down um, this Kaisa, or sorry, Zeri fast enough, meaning Zeri can just free hit. But caveat to all that is that the Leona is the one to take the kill, so it's okay. You know, it doesn't feel great, but it doesn't feel like the most worst thing in the world.
First tower of the game did go down with that Rift Herald in top.
Mhm.
They just keeping on ballooning the lead that CH Gaming has gotten, closing in on double the farm once again for on Gambit. And this Darius is truly a menace right now.
Yeah, 200 gold on the Darius simply from out farming his opponent. You know, there have been people who said we should remove that aspect of the bounty system. You shouldn't be given a bounty just for outperforming the opponent in terms of laning phase. But I think it's personally perfectly reasonable when you check the gold and you see that he has nearly 2,000 gold just from out farming his opponent alone. So
Dredgeline goes wide. Zenith
yeah,
Blade gets
nice.
knocked back by Kopek. Their
He's dead.
Knives is in a lot of trouble, but it's taking up a lot of time. Walking out, goes through the bush. Kopek gets the kill.
That sucks a lot. Berries wasn't able to pick that up with the W, so it will, in the end of the day, go over to the horsey horse. Now 1, 1, and 2 on him. He opting, like I said, for the bruiser build, and they're going to be poking down
Ooh,
Gypsy quite
a
a
lot of
lot.
damage.
They have the killer's instinct on berries. Also, the
Captain
ultimate
Can
on
Carry
Kopek. They're
is
looking for the
here.
dive.
Kopek's there. Tower aggro's on Jobo. The Cataclysm goes out, and Jobo goes down. Kopek gets the kill on Gypsy, and now Captain Can't Carry is there. Kills, joins the fight, throwing bombs. They go on separate targets, though. The bomb explodes onto Berries, gets a bunch of damage. The
Oh
Chrono Shift, I
no.
think it is. Yeah, Chrono Shift brings Captain Can't Carry back, gets the kill. The smite goes down onto the Krugs to heal up Kopek, and that pony is running back to Equestria.
That sucks a lot. They missed the ultimate coming out from Kopek again onto Gypsy, and he was able to juke it out so very well. Stayed alive on the turret for far too long, and it allowed them to pick up Jobo. It allowed them to take Kopek so very low and then eventually kill Berries. Very nice chrono shifts coming out from kills there. Just to bait in the opponent, just to force him to overcommit to that play, lose another member, and right now it's just the Jesters really looking so in control. Fire and
Now
Fiend, or Fiend and
Fiendfire's
Fire.
in the line of fire, and oh my god, the Darius damage,
He
and
didn't even
she's
want to
just gonna
dunk him.
burn down from the passive.
He didn't even want to dunk him. He said, "You're not worth my ultimate. I'm saving that for the Trundle." Oh man, 300 gold shut down, nearly 10 CS a minute on this Darius. One, 1-0 has the first item. You know, whenever you see Darius picked, he just kind of does things like this, even into counter picks. He is just such a strong champion.
Yeah, yeah, that's even something to keep in mind with this, with how rough top lane is going. Like Sun chose to, they knew this was a Darius coming in, and they chose to go for the Trundle matchup.
Yeah, no, I think it's really hard to kind of pick Darius because like he just does well into tanks, he does well into bruisers, and you really have to find his worst matchup, which is probably a ranged matchup. But if you don't want to play the Vayne, if you don't want to play the Lucian, if you don't want to play the Akshan, um, and any other picks like that, Quinn even, you're gonna at the end of the day have to opt into the bruiser versus bruiser matchup. And if your bruiser play just isn't up to snuff, it can hurt a lot. I think if he could have played it, I think Gambit would have had a much better time on the Fiora. But that is, I understand, a volatile pick. So gonna be Darius getting ghosted in
Joe
here.
flashes away, but
Uh-oh.
Kopech gets pulled in by Darius. The combo's coming in, and Kopech has to ult out. His speed up comes in from Zillion, and yeah, CH Gaming is just 1v3, and the Q misses onto Fiendfire,
There's the
but the
dunk.
damage is there anywhere. Double kill for CH Gaming comes out, and this dragon's going to the Jesters.
Yeah, Zillion plus Darius with Ghost seems pretty disgusting. Pretty disgusting. He was just able to do that, and now his gold lead or gold bounty has ballooned up from 300 gold to all the way up to 600 gold. And again, with such high CS numbers and 2 items, the most of anybody in this game, I just don't see how CH Gaming can lose at the current moment. He is just all around, all over the place, but it's going to be kills getting jumped on by Evil Gambit. What's going to be the root coming out? So absolutely nothing comes of it. And Evil Gambit trying to find some poke damage down. Does it, but at the end of the day, can't take true advantage of it. But you have to look at the rest of the map. Who's rotating up to catch him out? He's in a dangerous spot.
And knives are both there, but CH Gaming and Gypsy are not far off.
And I think he recognized that he sensed the danger that he was in, saw that everyone was moving off the map in a top lane
Oh,
direction.
Kopech's getting caught. Darius gets the pull in. Kopech is hurting. The passive stacks up to
He's gonna have
5.
ultimate,
Are we
but it
going to
doesn't
see a
matter.
dunk? Oh, no dunk. Well,
Kind of.
Jervin calls me a liar with the Cataclysm.
He stole that kill away from his top laner. That was 100% CH Jamie's kill. His bleed would have killed him, but he didn't care. He wanted the extra kill participation. He wanted the extra KDA. So at the end of the day, it will be them more than likely losing this tier 1 here. And they have to watch out for CH Gaming on the side. Will be picked up for the side of Clown Jesters. And right now, they've just looked in total control of this game aside from the first early misplay of bot lane. Other than that, they've been looked in just really dominant control. About 5,000 gold on the gold lead, and that's only looking to balloon up. So how you come back from the side of Sun Goku and squad, as we may be seeing Fiendfire getting caught out here.
Oh,
Oh
Fiendfire gets caught out with
no!
the flag and dragon. Now kills, gets the slowdown, throws the bombs in, knives, gets the stun, and Captain Can't Carry gets the kill.
Oh no, that was seconds away from completing. You hate to see it. Fiendfire thought they were safe, just not backing completely in the bush, but it was gonna be him getting picked up there. But like I was saying, how does Son Goku come back from this game, overcome a 5,000 gold deficit? They need to do a play like this. They need to make a move onto the huge shutdown that is CH Gaming. But then you need to land your abilities, you need to land your skill shots, and you need to not die
Joe's
from
level
1v3.
9 to the 15 Darius, but the
They do
damage is
everything right on
coming
him.
through. Berries
They
does the
did find it.
damage and
Nice.
gets the 900 gold.
That's huge. That's huge. Now you need to take the turret. You need to make the push in. But you have to be careful not to give up your mid lane turret. And with Fiendfire dead, that looks to be the trade. You lose 600 gold on your top laner or turret in the mid lane. I think that's pretty worth. I'm not going to lie. I like that trade a lot more pressure. But they do manage to pick up a turret on the top side. So it's relatively equalized out. They just need to keep this pressure coming out from the side of Gambit. He needs to keep doing his job as a split pushing monster that Trundle is. Nice bombs to block off Kopek's entrance.
Risky. The Leona ult comes through. Berries gets caught by the flag and drag trundles,
Nice
teleporting in. The
flash.
Cataclysm goes down, and they are stuck in a bad spot in the jungle. And the kills are coming in from the Jesters. Berries is running away, but gets killed by Jarvan. And now Evil Gambit is looking to join this fight 1v4.
Yeah, Gambit teleported down, thought he had the opportunity to look for the play, but just couldn't quite find the angle to actually enter it. And it will be more than likely the Baron going over to the side of Clown Jesters. And, I like that a lot coming out from them. I think it was a good response to a play that they were trying to make. Um, Captain Cat Carry saw his opportunity to go in on berries, and they almost had the opportunity to kill him out. But again, he's so strong at this current moment. Kopek just 0 damage, and yeah, it's just a rough. It's just so rough, so rough.
Yeah. An interesting build coming out from Kopek going for Frozen Heart after Triforce. It's it's a fairly squishy build, like going
Mhm.
for the armor, obviously, but it just feels like going for a chem tank would have done more damage at this point.
Yeah, I think going for the Kintank over the Triforce would have been better, but at the same time, I think, like we said, he just doesn't have the facilitator, so he has to facilitate himself in some way, and the Triforce just allows him to do that. But one
Yeah,
thing you have to contend with, you have to calculate when buying a Frozen Heart here is the value of a single hit point, right? And that just shoots up so astronomically when you're buying such a cost efficient, gold efficient item, 80 armor, 400 mana, 20 ability haste, and then all the unique passives on it. It's just so incredibly valuable, um, regardless of the passive. The stats alone are just so good, and it raises the value, like we said, of the single hit point. So now it just allows you to buy, I don't know, something like a Stair's Gauge, which is pure HP and pure damage. I think that would be a very nice buy here on this Hecker, and very nice buy on Kopek.
Captain Can't Carry got that blue buff, and the
Gambit puts
Evil
the
Gambit has to
flash. Oh
flash out.
no. Yeah, they haven't really been using this Baron buff to push lanes quite effectively yet, but it doesn't really matter when they have this much gold in the bank, this much pressure overall, and it's going to be 8,000. Jobo getting spied out there by that little ward check from Captain Kankari.
Yeah, super efficiency on that sweep. Got at least 3 wards from Jobo right there.
That's a lot of gold. That is a lot of gold. Bet the support wish they could have that much gold. But one thing to highlight, Berries not going for the AP Kaisa build, going for an AD Kaisa build, looking to really put some auto attacks down, and they're just not feeling comfortable enough to push down this tier 1, and I think this might be an error, bear on their part. I think they should feel a lot more comfortable looking for this play, looking for the ballsy tier tier 3 tower
They're going
dive.
for Kopek, the Flag and Drag
But they go for the tier 2.
misses, and there's the Onslaught of Shadows trying to get out. The Leona ult goes wide, but the Everfrost roots him up, and Kopek just can't go anywhere. Now Zillion goes down, but does have the Chrono Shift. Darius gets a
Oh,
pull on
TMP.
too, but is taking turret aggro and runs out and survives.
Super messy fight coming up from the side of honestly both, but I think Son Goku
Yeah.
played it a little bit better. They only lost a turret. They only lost, well, I say it's better in the worst case scenario, right? They only lost a turret and they only lost their jungler in a fight where they could have lost so much more. They could have lost all of their lives, and I think they played it super well, getting so many resources out from the side of Clown Jesters. Maybe maybe they can use those now down resources to look to turn around the game. But even as I talk, 9,000 gold lead still has stayed relatively stagnant, and it's looking so hard for the side of Son Goku to come back.
And the gold leads kind of separated out on the side of the Jesters, whereas when it was like 5,000 gold, 3,500 of that difference was just between Darius and Trundle. And
Yeah,
so now that the gold lead has expanded for the Jesters, that gold lead is still just around 3,000, 3,500 between Darius and Trundle. And so the rest of the members, like Gypsy and like Captain Can't Carry, like Kills, are starting to share that advantage.
absolutely, 100%. They are just running through them all across the board. And speaking of running through them, 3 items, almost 4 on the Jarvan. And we were talking about, 2 items most in the game coming out from Darius, but now Captain can carry the one doing the carrying. 3 items looking for the 4th, and it's gonna be 3 items on the Darius, 3 on the Zillion, 3 on the Zari, looking for her 4th as well, 2 on even the Leona, and it just is a complete gap over the side of Goku. But they can definitely win this fight. They just need to look for the angle. They just need to look for the Nihilist into the Zeri play, into the Vex ultimate, just onto the crucial targets of either kills and Zillion or Gypsian and force him
Oh,
to make an
Jobo
opportunity
gets
move.
caught out, and Fiendfire gets Cataclysm. The Zillion Bomb comes in, and it
Oh no.
max range Zenith Blade catches the Vex out. Now Onslaught of Shadows comes
Here.
in. Gypsian is caught out, but gets the ult and is back to full health. Now there's a messy fight going on there, all just stacked, and none of the
Oh.
jesters are going down. Chrono Shift comes in at the end to save someone, and double kill from Captain Can't Carry. And CH Gaming wasn't even in that fight.
Yeah, he was just chilling. He wasn't doing anything. Honestly, we were worried about the wrong person the entire time. He was just a red herring, right? His team was the one who was actually going to be the threat just all across the board. Absolute domination coming out from them, and they are just making it look so easy.
Yeah, really clean game coming out of Clown Gaming Jesters. Um, little messy at points. The bot lane early, uh, but really just they got advantages and pushed them.
Yeah. Um, you're absolutely right about that. They just outlaned their opponents, they outroamed their opponents, and they looked for better fights over their opponents. I think there were definitely a few misplays, especially in the bot side of the map, but
Yeah,
for the most part, it was really just complete domination from start to finish, and they didn't really feel out of control of the game at all, even when they lost those 2 early Drakes. And it's I think you can just kind of attribute to the back of the Darius, to the back of Captain Can Carry, and to the back of kills to really keep their team like head in the game and really remind them, yeah, we're losing a lot of fights bot, but look at what they're trading over for us to get those win fights.
yep, yeah, exactly. The top half of the map was in such control that the bot lane being messier um, just wasn't bad, especially because when it was messy, it wasn't totally lost. It was kind of back
Mhm.
and forth. There were mistakes on both sides. There were advantages on both sides. And so if Berries and Jobo had been like solidly just kicking ass, it would have been one thing. But they weren't. And so it just, yeah, Clowns just kept getting the lead.
Yeah, and I think, it's just a rough game. It's just a really rough game. Your comp's a little bit out of order. It just feels hard to play. You're trying to do a split dive comp, but then you have a Trundle thrown in there just to try to counter the Darius, and you didn't counter the Darius. So
Yeah.
rough game coming up inside of Son Goku, but um, wasn't completely awful. I think there's some bright points for them, and they can definitely work to improve those as we continue on to the season. But that was game 2 of the midseason tournament. We're gonna be looking for what's the third game? I think it's something important.
Oh yeah. Game three should be a fun one between two really high placing teams right now. It's going to be CB Rangers versus CB Ibiza.
Ooh, interesting. The CB Bowl, both teams looking for bragging rights over each other. I'm hyped for it.
Oh yeah. Honestly, when I looked at the schedule, this is the game I've been looking forward to the most.
I keep saying, yeah. I want to see what shenaniganery each team gets up to. But with that, we will be throwing it to a very short break while we look to set up the next lobby. Don't go anywhere, folks. It is the Blue Water League.
Welcome back, faithful viewers. We are here for game three of the midseason tournament on Blue Otter League Gold. Got CB Rangers versus CB Ibiza, and they are burning through this draft faster than I can talk.
Yeah, they both sides know what each other want to play. Both sides know what each other want to do, and both sides know what they want individually. So the Rangers taking away the Gragas, taking away the Seraphine, taking away the Senna, Ibiza taking away Lucian, Wukong, Camille, and the Rangers first picking the Jinx. So we see the priority coming through on the Jinx. Very nice pickup from them. I like it a lot, and it will be the Kaisa coming through for the side of Ibiza. Yes, that is. So potentially Kaisa mid. We saw Kaisa bot last time, and both times Kaisa, even while losing, did a lot of damage for her team. So regardless of where she goes, what she does in the game, I think she's going to be doing a lot of damage. Unless obviously that thing she's doing is running it down. Ibiza hovering the Udyr. Potentially, it will be the Udyr walked in. And so, what do you pick into the Udyr? I really do enjoy the common Udyr counter pick, which is Mundo. He just kind of
Uh,
runs through everything that Udyr wants to do. Even if he builds AP, he just builds MR because he is Mundo. He's anti MR champion or anti magic champion, right? But if he builds AD, then you just build armor and he still can't do too much to you. So, but it will be the Trundle picked up for the side of the Rangers instead of the Mundo. Maybe a Trundle top. We did see it last game, not to a lot of success, but what do you think of it here, Jeez?
I the 1v1 matchup between Trundle and Udyr is super interesting. I mean, as interesting as two champs right click each other can be. Um, but I think it can go either way. I think Trundle brings more utility, and at the end, in like late game, Udyr ends up just being a stun bot,
Mhm.
whereas Trundle can do more. And I think after level 6, Trundle wins the 1v1 pretty solidly just because of the stolen stats from Subjugate. Uh, but I think it's a really strong jungle pick right now in the meta. We've seen it pretty much every game, I think. And, honestly, I personally like Udyr a lot, so I'm happy to see that champ come out.
I think Goodyear can work. I think Hecarim would be decent into Udyr, but it would be boring again. It would be return of that Udyr Hecarim meta, which was just them farming for 3 years and then showed up with too much HP, too much movement speed, and it was so sleeper. So hopefully we don't get that. Hopefully we get something interesting, but it will be the Sona getting picked up by Ibiza, whereas the Rangers grab the Lulu, and both sides start looking to potentially pinch into the top lane pool. Shin getting banned away, Jace getting banned away. And again, maybe looking to take away the Gragas.
I'm I'm worried when I see the early Sona pick because when we had Ibiza on stream last week, there was a lot of Moonstones, a lot of Enchanters. I was happy to see the Senna and the Seraphine uh, taken off the board in the first ban phase because that meant I thought that signaled that that play style was directly targeted and those champs felt really impactful to the compositions that they were picked into last week. Um,
Mm.
but there was a karma hover for a second, and it looks like we've got a Soraka ban. So we'll
Yeah,
see how hard Ibiza sticks to that Enchanter gameplay.
I think they can just blind pick the Karma here and it would be fine. You can put Karma mid, you can put Karma top, and it doesn't even matter. I think if they really want that sort of uh, Overwatch goats a la style
Yeah.
of comp, they can definitely do it if they wanted to. But especially if they ban away the Jason and Malphite, it just leaves with a rather free counter pick or a free blind pick for the Gnar. I think that was going to be the one that comes through, and it's going to be instant lock on the Yone. Dude, they do not care from the
Oh,
Rangers. Instantly locked in. Now they just have to decide: is Trundle going into the jungle, or is it going to be Trundle on the top side, and they get a different jungle pick? You really have to wonder. Maybe that's even Yone into the Gnar, and potentially we just get a blind pick for the mid. Interesting stuff coming out for the Rangers. Still a lot of time left on the clock,
so that
and it will
that's really
be.
usually it's the other brother that gets insta locked into the Nar. But they seem really confident in that Yone pick going into top lane.
Yeah, it's wow. instantly lock the Xerath into the Corki. Um, yeah, and it can do a lot of work. I think Xerath is really good, kind of sleeper OP actually. Does a lot of damage whenever he gets picked, and especially if you know how to use the champion, can be picked in multiple roles. You know, support, mid, and it really just outranges his Corki, makes him so hard to play, even off the wave. So yeah, this Corki, while he does outscale the Xerath, I think, but the Xerath just has safer scaling overall. But Yone into Gnar, this one's interesting. This one's super interesting. Yone gets bullied out pre-6, but after 6, I think it becomes a pure skill matchup of whether or not Gnar can properly manage the Gnar bar and use his ultimate when it's necessary whenever Yone tries to go in on him. But bot is probably just going to be really sleeper, 2 enchanters versus 2 scaling 80 carries, and jungle is
Yep.
just kind of farm fest central.
The Udyr, I feel like, is going to have a bit of a tough time. There is very little setup. So with warding, with even decent to good warding, the avenues of entry for Udyr are going to be super limited. Um, so I suspect we're going to see just a hard farming Manbear pig on the map. Uh, I,
Yeah.
I am I am really curious how they choose to play the game.
Yeah, I think the Ibiza squad's goal is to focus top side, really look to punish this Yone. And then for the mid lane, or for the Rangers, sorry, I think it's their strategy is to focus the mid lane. You know, try and focus the two most volatile lanes. Xerath, even though he stays really far back, he's a squishy, immobile mid lane mage who doesn't have a lot of health, doesn't have a lot of escapes. And then inside of Yone, even though he has a lot of escapes, he's still a ranged in the melee. He's going to be pushed in, and if he ever does get the push, can get jumped on by the Udyr. And then if they ever do get the push into him and he's low enough, they look for the dive onto him. So I think those are each team's separate focuses, and then bot side again is just kind of sleeper. Not too much happens unless you know Sona or Lulu make a mistake in stepping up, but I don't think that happens this game.
And Soda and Lulu definitely have to playing careful. I feel like they're the squishiest people on the map, and
Mhm.
very much. I think Sona, really, like when I look at the Rangers comp, there is just a absolutely bonkers amount of damage. Like the Yone, the Corki, the Jinx. That's that is a lot of hurt coming out, and not a ton of utility, not a ton of durability coming out there. The Lulu ult is going to be really, really important for surviving and trying to save whoever gets targeted.
Absolutely, yeah.
Um, I think having so many hard carry champions is gonna end up with Jinx being the benefactor in the end, that she's gonna be able to fly under the radar until it's too late because Yone and Corki take up so much focus with the big ults, with the package. Um,
Mm.
and I think them getting Jinx is really cool.
Yeah, I think Jinx Quirky, somehow that was able to sink through and there wasn't a Xin Zhao counter or of any sort. I think it's
Yep.
going to be really, really difficult for Ibiza to play this game if they allow the Jinx and the Quirky to scale. However, if they're able to bully out the Quirky, cut down the Yone in some way, I think Jinx will have a hard time to really carry this game. I really think it's just difficult for her to deal with the Udyr running at you with Mach 10 speed, Azerath ulting over top, and then buffed up Kaisa also ulting at you with Mach 20 speed. And overall of that, you have the master tier Sona just constantly spamming heals and shields on him. So really, really a rough game if this Jinx is the only one to get ahead on the side of the Rangers. But opposite to that, counter to that. So for their team, they have a lot less damage overall. It's really just looking to get Chitin, really looking to get Alishan ahead. And if those two don't get ahead enough, they're going to fall off and they just won't do enough damage into, like you said, the hyper damage that is Yone, Corki, Jinx.
Yeah, and last week what we saw was similar. It was a very different look for the comps. It was a lot more enchanters and whatnot, but it was still these two carry comps. They like focusing on. They pick two players, and those are the ones getting resources.
Hmm.
Uh, and it's very much the same idea. Chitin and Arishan they're just going to be the focus of all the gold.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Adishan, Kaitan. I think that's easier for them. It's like you said, it's easier for Ibiza just to focus those two gold onto those two versus focusing gold onto like three people, potentially four, depending on Cooper's build. But
Yeah.
we'll have to see. We will have to see. And besides, at the end of the day, it's just going to be Waka kind of outscaling the Lulu. Oh, wait, there's no way.
If they
So
put Sona mid.
if Sona goes mid, I think it's super troll because I think Cooper just kind of runs down that lane, or Koki gets a free laning phase. But at the other hand, it does make bot side a little bit more volatile for Jinx Lulu. But yeah, I think this one's their best setup. But we'll have to see. They still have a few seconds, few 10 seconds or so to lock that in and really make their decision. But
I don't actually know. Does BOL have like a time lock where I think in LCS it's like once it's 20 seconds left, they have
League,
to be in
yeah,
play.
yeah, League of Legends does just naturally. And I think it has a time lock at 20 seconds.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So
So
it
we
will
are
be.
locked into place.
So yeah, it will be Xerath in the mid lane. It will be Sona going into the bot side as we expected. So yeah, nothing to worry about.
No. But yeah, as spectator delay ticks down one last time for this night, we are going to throw it to a brief break, get everything set up and loaded in, and don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We are loaded in and ready to go, folks. One last time, I am Jeeves on the mic here with Arlan.
Yeah, geez, I am ready to cast this CB Bowl. See which CB team is the best team in the league. Will be CB Rangers with Sindri and Cooper, Rock, Rivered, and Peacemaker, or will be CB Ibiza with Kobita, I Praise God, Kaiten, Arishan, and Waka. Who knows? I don't. I'm just here to cast it. But regardless, we're going to be hopping in just real quickly, just look at each options build. You were talking in the break real quickly how you liked the fleet footwork on the Corki, and I agree with you. I 100% like it. He's going to get poked out in this lane quite a bit. So trying to trade back what was it called? I'll just check. I'll drop the ego and check. Trying to trade back for strike procs is you know kind of troll in my opinion. So I think he's really smart opting for the fleet footwork here, but we will have to see how that shakes out at the end of the day.
I don't think I've seen this Sona skin in game before. The aura effects look really cool.
What skin is that? Is that the
That's the Pentakill, like chapter 2.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I haven't seen that one often either, but most for the more importantly, probably because I don't see a lot of Sonas.
Yeah, fair. Same.
But it will be Kobita up in this top lane, flexing his advantage. But he did get jumped on by Sindri, and I think this could
The
be
third Q comes
really
in,
dangerous.
and yeah, just a trade.
Yeah, Yone top with lethal tempo, super
Rock is
dangerous.
eating rockets, taking a lot of damage.
Oh man, yeah, it's one of the key issues with picking Sona over Senna. Unlike, sorry, Sona over Seraphine, because one of the biggest issues with Sona is her health pool early levels. It's, I think, the lowest in the game at that level 1 stage. So super, super rough stuff, but nothing to write home about in either lane. It's just a little bit heavy trading on both sides. But it looks like Rangers has won out for the most part.
Yeah, bars are even. Everyone's level 2 across the board, except for actually Sidarian hitting 3. Nar is playing safe.
Yep, Nar's playing very safe, but now that the Narbar has been popped, he has to play a little bit dangerous. And to get that CS, you're going to have to walk up into melee range of the Yone, and he can hit you with free Qs all he wants. And that's one of the weaknesses of picking the Gnar, that eventually that ranged buff that you have over your opponent does fall off, and you have to really manage your rage bar, really pop it, and hope it doesn't pop at inopportune times.
I really like what I'm seeing out of the Rangers bot lane so far. Uh, just anytime Sona comes up to poke, Waka is just eating half a health bar in damage from the picks, from the glitter lances.
Yeah, Ibiza playing this bot lane, like I said, it's a lot lower ranged bot lane than Rivered and Peacemaker's bot lane.
Yep.
The Jinx Lulu just so much longer range than Waka and Arishan. Every single time they step up, they get poked down so heavily, and I think that's just really good coming out from Revered, and they have to keep that kind of poke advantage up, because once level 6 gets hit, they can start looking to run down their opponent and look to pop them with long range ultimates, or just tank up their own damage with Peacemaker's ultimate. With Sindarian looking for a little bit of a trade in the top side, not too much to write home about. But Brevrock, the fact that he's able to keep relatively even in CS and relatively a healthy HP bar into such a advantageous lane for Kaiten, that's a pretty good thing.
Oh,
But
they bait
Waka,
in Waka. The
he's
shield
dead.
comes in, the traps root Sona. And Waka, oh, Jinx gets
Ooh.
exhausted, but the damage comes through. Waka goes down. Now Arishan's trying to trade back, but Jinx
He trade it? No,
is
he doesn't.
back up.
Oh
And double
no.
kill for River.
That was good stuff from Peacemaker right there. That was really, really close, thin margins. Waka, nice heal, nice flash. I think if he had just flashed a little bit earlier, we could be looking at a different story. Definitely not
Yep.
a double kill, maybe just a single kill. But Audishan going just a little bit too deep there. But Peacemaker is the one person to look at, saving the ignite for Audishan, not even bothered to dropping it onto the dead Sona, and then using the shield at the perfect moment to bait in the Kaisa. keeping Reaver alive, but it will be Kobita getting traded on so heavily by Singerian, and I think
Oh,
that's a
but
dead
Udyr's
Yone.
up here. Yeah, Yone doesn't have a lot of options without the third Q. Oh, flashes over and does
Nope.
get the third Q charged, but Kobita gets the kill onto Sidarian.
Very nice stuff from Kobita, but is it enough turning around such a hard winning lead from Sindarian? Not quite sure, but Chitin walking up, missing the stun. He has to be very
Rocks
careful that he
trading
doesn't
back.
ult at the wrong time. Does he have
He's
enough
running
for his ultimate
super
here?
low on mana though, waiting for the passive to recharge some.
Yeah, waiting just for 7 gold for 7 mana realistically. And I think if he could just hit his ultimates, I think that's a dead Corki. But speaking of dead something, that will be the Infernal Drake getting slain, going over to the side of the Rangers. Very nice stuffing. Uh-oh. Waka, Adishan, potentially looking to get
Dragon just
jinked here.
died. You know they're there. The pillar comes out and Shan gets slowed
Oof.
by the bite. That's all that happens.
Yep. They didn't decide to push their advantage, even though there are no flashes on the bot side of the map, and even though Cooper has theirs, they say there's no reason to look at the big wave that's stacking into our turret. And instead, they just decide to take a free reset on the jungler and collect that huge wave. So only about 100 gold separating these two teams. So the 3 kills haven't been too impactful. But
Oh,
Kobita, uh-oh,
the
missing
Gnar
the
misses
ultimate.
the wall.
But it doesn't matter because Sindarian cannot follow up because he, unfortunately, I think dashed right into his stun or used his shadow right into his stun. So it sucks a little bit, but not too much, especially when Kobita's opting to build armor first, not going at all for a damage first kind of build. Usually we see a Triforce or a Divine Blender or, very rarely even Stride Breaker come out, but to go for a tank item first, interesting from Kobita.
I do like the choice. I think it's interesting going for the Warden's Mail early. Usually, the safe play is Bramble and Steel Caps
Mhm.
for if you want to just survive versus an aggressive AD lane. Um, now the Narbar is charging up, but the ult is on cooldown. Yone goes wide with the Fate sealed, and now he's walking up. The third Q gets the knockup, but Mega Gnar is just too durable.
That wasn't a bad trade. Wasn't a bad trade. Misses ultimate, but got quite a bit of damage on him for Kobita, so I think that's really worthy for this Gnar here, but he's getting ganked. But nice little hop, skip, and a jump away. And he's very safe in this lane. So hard to gank top if you're the side of the Rangers.
Yeah.
Not hard to gank bot. You just kind of have to rely on them getting their own advantages. And kind of hard to gank mid. What do you do for Cooper? Well, you power farm. And right now, he's getting hard out farmed by the Udyr. And that's just why you pick Udyr and Trundle. Or sorry, you pick. Yeah, it was Udyr and Trundle, wasn't it? I think that's how it went. Not quite sure.
No, the Udyr was first. Was
Ooh.
picked first, and then Trundle was picked into it.
Oh, well then, folks, that's why you don't pick Udyr into Trundle. Or Trundle into Udyr. Because this is why. You kind of can't do anything, and then he just kind of hard out farms you, and then he's going to be able to beat you in the duels. But even though they did get the Drake first, it looks like the Rift Herald is going to be going over to the side of I Praise God and Squad as he looks to start it up right at this moment.
Yeah, and that jungle matchup is at a point right now that feels so bad with Udyr having the farm lead just from abilities and the Bami's Cinder, and Trundle sitting on Kindle Gem, like you do with just a Kindle Gem as a Trundle.
Not too much, but Chitin looking to ult in the mid lane, looking for the solo kill on the Brurrock, and he just barely survives, but it's going to be the dive.
Dive coming in, bot. There's the Sona ult.
Nice
Oh, the
shot.
crescendo doesn't do it. River gets his third kill. Peacemaker finishes off Adishan, and they juggle the turret aggro just right to save their lives.
Yeah, I would have had just a little bit of criticism of that play if Reaver had taken just another tower shot because he started out that dive with the one taking the aggro, and that could have been
Mhm.
horrible if he wasn't full HP and they weren't properly spaced out. If Audishan and Waka had focused all their damage onto the Jinx, that's a dead Jinx, and this is a different dive, a different story entirely. But Reaver taking it very nicely, calmly, and then walking out very calmly as well, letting Cooper take it, juggling that aggro exactly as you want to see when you dive like that. And it just made Audishan and Waka just unable to play the lane. But We will have to see. Still 4-1 in terms of kills. About 1,000 gold lead for the side of the Rangers. The CBOL is picking up pace, picking up steam a little bit as Sindarian goes in for a trade on the Kobita a little bit. Not too much to write home about.
Yeah, quick little trades like that. Even just this Warden's Mail alone it's putting in work. The damage really doesn't feel like it's there from Severian so far. But that's not what you buy the Vamps at. They are sitting on almost 1,600. So things are going to start speeding up top.
Ooh, Kobita looking for the
Oh, a
solo
nice
kill.
combo. Narzen into the
Ooh!
wall. And the solo kill coming out of Kobita.
Nice little solo bolo for the boys. Take that one home, ride it all the way, get that check from the bank. Very good stuff from Kobita. I liked it. I liked it. He saw his opportunity to go in. He saw that um, Sindarian had just used his Fate Unsealed. He has his ultimate, and like I said, proper management of the Narbar means that you win that lane. So even though they get the Drake on the bottom side of the map, they drop the Rifthill on the top side of the map, and they're looking to get a lot of plates. Rock on the bottom side
They're
of the map, and he's going to be using the
getting
package.
a package in from Corky, but they're way too deep, and the rest of the team can't follow up. The right of the arcane comes in, and now Barak is running for his life.
Very nice secondary Valkyrie to get Barak out of there. If he hadn't used that secondary Valkyrie, he would have had to flash, and it's just not fun to blow your flash on Corky into this lane. So, very nice secondary Valkyrie to avoid Waka's ultimate. But at the end of the day, using Valkyrie and Jinx Rocket for just trading, a few rockets from Adishan, or a few ultimates from Adishan, Chitin, and Waka, not too bad. Not too bad. So, just everything is back to square one. 2-0 in the top side for Kobita. And a minor goal lead for the side of Ibiza, but not in the place where you want to have the goal lead.
The Zap
Good
just misses
dodge.
onto Waka, but the rockets are there. The Lulu ult comes in
Um,
preventatively.
yeah, we'll say that preventively. Not the greatest Lulu but just keeping their AD carry alive. It's fine at the end of the day. But yeah, look at the damage pumping out from Chitin, and this is really why I love the Xerath pick. I really do think it's super sleeper OP in the meta. And look how much armor Kobita is just sitting on. I don't think Sindarian can really afford to take plays like this anymore,
God.
but he is going to drop the ult.
But here's CB Cooper coming in and gets Nard back towards turret, but not into turret range. Narbar goes empty. There's no
Very,
damage left.
very, very good stuff. And yeah, it is just Sindarian feels really bad to play Yone into this much armor. It just feels really, really bad. I've been on this side of it when the tank or pseudo tank just stacks armor and still does percent HP damage, and I can't kill him, but he can kill me, and it's just not a fun matchup right now.
It has almost got Mega Gnar and has Flash in a 2-level lead. But now Lulu's
Oh,
up there.
getting ganked.
Peacemaker making the roam along with Kuber. There's the hop, and that visually looked weird. He was small and then went back to Mega. But now
Ooh, he's dead.
Udyr's in
Nice.
here, and Peacemaker gets the kill finally on Kobita. Waka has shown up. The Wild Growth comes in onto Sidarian. Udyr's running
They can win
forward.
this.
I praise God
They
wants
definitely
this
can win this.
fight. Chitin's here now. It's time to throw out the damage, but cancels it, and they're walking away.
And at the end of the day, they have to leave Adishan alone. Both sides, leave their AD carries alone, but it really sucks to be Adishan here because they roamed for what? They roamed to lose their top laner. So really, really sucks to be Adishan. You lose so much gold, so much XP just because Jinx can zone you with just pure auto attacks and look to run you down. First item in the game completed a while ago, opting for the Kraken Slayer, and it's just so difficult for Adishan to play this lane just solo.
Yeah, the damage difference right now between the
Oh, but
pure
look who it is.
components.
Price praise God on the bottom side of the map, but realize he gets spot out by Ward, so can't continue to make that play. This Udyr, even though he's out farming the Trundle, just hasn't been as impactful as the Trundle.
Yeah, Yone just cannot trade damage back with this Gnar right now.
I guess that's what happened when Gnar builds, Tabbies plus Warden's Mail plus Kindle Gem. You just kind of can't do any damage to him. But I praise God gets spot out by this bot lane war, so they know something is up. They know something is suspicious in the area. And look at Cooper, he's waiting in the wings.
The mid laners are coming down. Barak has the advantage on the roam, but Chitin has a lot of range.
Oh, but
I
there,
praise God face checks the tribush, gets the pillar blocking him, gets the zap, but is getting out. But oh, one
woo,
last
nice
rocket
shot.
from Barak gets the kill. Now Waka's running away, but
Oh
Ribbard's unstoppable. Gets excited, starts throwing out rockets. Adishan's running,
my god.
but the speed buff from Lulu, the zap just misses. Now Barak finds Chitin in the jungle. The stun from Zerath goes wide. They're under turret. The zap hits.
What's the
Chitin
flash?
has to flash away.
Yeah, even a few missed skill shots and we could be talking about, or a few differently placed skill shots and we could be talking about different story, different kills, but it's just Jinx and it's just, ooh, Sandarian gets ulted in that turret there, but it's just Jinx and it's just Corki. The strength of these two champions together, they're outranging their opponents, even with the Xerath in the game. They just outrange him so well together. It's just so hard for them to play this game on the side of Chitin and friends on
Oh,
Ibiza.
there might be a
They may have
fight
overplayed their
coming up
hand.
once again. Oh, the damage from the Hextech Dragon takes out Peacemaker, and the
Oh,
right of the Arcane gets a second kill. So I praise God comes in and gets this Hextech Drake, and Kobita cleans up Barak.
yep. And right there, it's just a little bit. It's a huge error coming out from the side of the Rangers, and I can tell you exactly why. They did not reset. They made a huge play, got several kills, got a lot, excuse me, a lot of gold on the right places, but they didn't reset with it. They opted immediately for taking the Drake, even though it was a super risky play, even because Chitin was still up, because Audishan was still up, and Udyr had just taken long enough to respawn. It's a really rough play to go for that. It's a really rough play to go for that, especially when you don't have your own resets come through, when you don't spend your own amount of gold. So they might have just thrown their lead on the Jinx with a very nice shutdown, but it's going to be a teleport
There's a
behind them.
teleport coming
Sudarian,
in from Sidarian.
they're going
They
for
have an
Waka,
angle,
they're going for
but
Audishan, don't quite find it.
yeah, the speed buff from Waka gets them out.
Yeah, I was looking to use him to stall the death of that turret there, but one thing I think is interesting is it's a little bit Waka or a little bit wonky is their macro, their lane assignments. Kind of interesting that they're going to be sharing gold and experience on the Corki and Jinx, but it's going to be Cooper getting found out by Kobita, ulted
Oh,
into the wall.
Kobita throws Cooper into the wall with the ult. The Gromp is taken for some healing. But yeah, Cooper's got to get out. He's level 13. He's just running amok.
Yeah, not even Sindarian can stand up to Audishan and Waka no matter how badly they were beaten down. Can't really do anything about it. Peacemaker trying to steal that away, but I praise God picks up the second Riptail, and now they can use to look at it to crack open a tier two, either in the mid, either in the bot, or in the top. They have a lot of options. And it's just right now, Ibiza is in complete control of this game, and the only person they have to watch out for is a 5-1 Jinx, realistically.
Yeah. And Rivert is still absolutely can't be ignored.
Mhm.
Uh Sidarian finally got first item. The shield bow is in. So Yone's slowly on that uptick. It's a matter of whether or not the game is gonna last long enough for to become an actual champion.
Absolutely, and it's just really just on the side of Ibiza to in this game before Yone becomes a champion, before Corki becomes a champion, and before Jinx hits that 3-item power spike. Because right now, the Jinx is still individually ahead of her lane counterpart, still individually ahead of Alishan, is Rivered. But in terms of the overall game state, it is leaning towards the side of Kobita and friends, a 3-1 Gnar up there. But I think you just gotta really start to accelerate your lead using this Rift Herald. You just have to look for plays anywhere at the current moment.
I want to give one shout out. Oh, how quick the pillar comes in, Chitin. I think the MVP for Ibiza in that dragon fight might have been the Hex Gates. Uh, Rangers really underestimated how quickly they could get out of
Mhm.
base, and the Hex Gates just shot them halfway across the map and made the collapse really faster than you would think. I think that was really just well played by Ibiza.
It really was. It really was. And you're right. The X6 do deserve to be looked at. They're very much objects worthy of praise. And not just X6, but also, I praise God, so much movement speed on the Sudir. Once he presses W, he's just going to run across the map for fun. And yeah, Chitin, let's take a look at that CS. Very nice. Almost 10 CS a minute. Just missing the 5 necessary CS to hit that coveted marker. 2 items, second item being a death cap, and he was just absolutely dominating in terms of this mid lane matchup. But not to be underestimated is Brock. Even though, oh wait, never mind, he is to be underestimated. That's a 3,000 goal lead for Chitin just in the mid lane alone. Yeah, it's really Brock's time to kind of power farm it out. Really look to value onto himself because right now it's just all Chitin. It's the Chitin show right now. But praise Rock.
Praise God gets caught out. The fate sealed
Oh,
comes
nice
through. The
knockback.
blast cone is popped. And I praise God goes down. River gets their sixth.
Very nice stuff. And even though Waka dropped their own ultimate to try to keep them alive, it was not enough. I praise God, wrong part of town. And it will be the teleport coming through from Barak. And I think he has the package.
Yeah, he does have package and he's looking to pick someone off in the jungle, but it's all alone.
All alone, no follow up, but it will be the Hex Dragon going over to the side of the Rangers. Very nice stuff, very good stuff. They're just looking to stack those up and force it onto the soul point. Now this is where you can get really tricky. In 5 minutes, when the next strike spawns, you can either opt to give it up, force Ibiza to go collect it, or else you will get soul, or force Ibiza into a fight where you're going to be taking Baron. You know, you really have to make Ibiza choose here as a Cooper walks in the wrong part of town.
Cooper takes half his health in damage.
Uh-oh, but the turret's gone. Body Sean Waka, they might be in the wrong part of town here.
Darian's running up. The E is almost down, and
Oh, it's
Sidereal
enough.
gets the kill with the pop. And now here comes Kobita with the teleport, and Rangers are running. The right of the arcane is firing from Chitin.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be
it's like they
at
are
the end of the day.
successfully getting out.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just gonna be Rivered and Squad running out of there. A very nice speed up coming through from Peacemaker. But look at Brarok just pushing top lane, uncontested. He's just doing his thing. And it's gonna be a crit Corki build. Interesting. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think crit Corki is better than AP Corki by a long shot. I think it's viable in certain situations, but I think this is one of the situations where you would still prefer an AP Corki, right? You would still prefer a Corki who's just popping people from long range, not really getting into those close range scraps, especially since they have Azereth on the team. Maybe his thought process is, well, they already outrange me, so why try to play into something where I already get outranged and just try to play the close range fight as much as possible, which is a valid way of thinking, but
Yeah.
I still think it's a little bit better if you just go for the AP Corki build.
Yeah, match the poke for poke with something like this rather
Yeah,
than
as much
going
as
for the
possible.
safe.
Trying to do it as much as possible. But it is Cooper walking the potentially wrong place here. So
Ooh,
much
a
damage
nice
from Chitin.
crescendo on 2, and Peacemaker has to use Wild Growth on themselves.
So much. And look at that. He just barely clipped River with it. Chitin just doing so much damage. This is
Oh,
what farming
Kobita's
well
in
gets
here.
you.
There's the Shirelias, and
Spread the
Chitin
arcane.
gets the kill on the Peacemaker. Now
Oh, he's hitting
Ibisa's
2 of them with that.
running them down. The right of the arcane's firing. And Cooper's in the middle of the entire Ibiza team. Running out, and over the wall, Siderian gets the kill on Tawaka. Now Kobita goes down, and it's Barak versus Adishan. The killer instinct comes out, and it's a triple kill for the Kaisa. Siderian is doing everything they can, but Chitin
Ah,
gets the kill for the 5-for-3 ace.
you really hate to see it. Maybe if Ice Praise God didn't have the Bramblebacks, that fight could have turned out just a little bit differently. Siderian looking to lifesteal up off of Chitin, but that heal reduction was gruesome. It was brutal on his healing, on his HP bar. And at the end of the day, it will be a triple kill for Adishan in the backline. Very nice to find that. And I think maybe, however, if he didn't have the exhaust, that's a winning fight for Barrock. So much more damage was lost because of that exhaust. But even though you have such a strong Jinx, they aren't able to leverage it. They aren't able to use it to its full potential. And it will be a 4,000 goal lead going over to the side of CBI Visa.
Kaisa picking up the Gnasher's Tooth. So we're getting a splash of AP with some lethality and the Muramana.
Yes,
Oh my
absolutely,
god, the
absolutely,
damage from just
dude.
one
What the
Q
heck?
from Chitin onto Rivered did
Oh
like
man.
60% health.
And it sucks because River thought he would be able to play this game super safe, right? Or super aggressively because he gets so fed early. So he was like, you know what, let's do a Kraken Slayer game. I bet he's really missing not having the Gale Force now. Missing the movement speed,
Yeah,
missing the dash. It probably really, really is just painful decision to make. Think back about it. But a minute next on this next Drake, and it is just the side of Ibiza warding properly. But look at that. Bro Rock on the wrong side of the map. He's getting cut off, and I think he realized it just now. He's going to have to teleport out of town, and he gets away.
gets
Very
out.
nice stuff. Now we're looking at
Now
Aishan
that's
looking
two
to
from
start
Ibiza
poking.
sent up towards top, and Rangers are setting up for this dragon. The Fate
Uh-oh.
Seal goes wide on Waka, and Sidarian's running forward, snaps back with the E.
Very nice dodge, but oh man, not enough to dodge the Q. And that's the crucial ability you got to dodge, even though the stun is impactful. Those Qs hurt so, so much. 18 stacks on this Magi's, man. He's looking to get it fully stacked in this next fight here. 19 seconds, 18 seconds on this Drake. And Kobita has finally joined the rest of the squad. How do you win this fight? You don't have package. I think you just have to see this Hextech Drake, or maybe even opt toward a Baron power play. Those are your two options here, but whatever you do, I don't think you can win the fight.
Yeah, they just don't have defensive stats. They don't have any way to deal with the damage coming out of Chitin right now. Their wrath is just way too much for Rangers to handle.
It really is. And it's just going to be Titan just ulting for funsies. Looking to steal that blue buff away. Doesn't quite find it, but I think he found the Grump at the end of the day. So, moral victory going over to Chitin. And Zendarian's checking this Baron with his little ghosty form, but only finding damage and pain in return. He could look for a five-man fate unstealed, and I think they realize it coming up in the side of Ibiza. They back off pretty completely. Very nice coordination coming out from this squad.
I like the idea because I don't think Rangers had the time to get back and reset just yet. So they had lower health bars,
He has
but it was
flash.
just it would have been a super risky play. Oh, Barak's in trouble. I praise God gets the stun and the Corky goes down.
Yep, I think maybe if he had kept going along that path, he could have gone out. He did have flash, and at the end of the day, I praise God only as a ghost. And if he gets out of the range of Chitin with no right of the arcane, that could have been a different story entirely. But it will be them restarting this Baron again, and this time without Brorock to poke in with rockets. You don't have too much to worry about. Sindari and Kobitas meeting each other off on the top side of the map, and that's going to be the
It is
Narbar
about to
popping.
go Mega, gets the Nara into the wall, shield bow gets procced, and Sidarian has to run away.
Oh,
Oh, ease
okay.
away from the building, but Kobita gets the kill anyways, and now Zerath is firing off damage. Baron is still aggroed. It did reset though, so this is super slow.
We're still looking at Cooper trying to get in, trying to make the hero play, but I just don't think you can. And it will be Kobita zoning them off. I think they realize he doesn't have Narc, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because, yeah, it will be Udyr squad picking that up. They can't even get a mid lane in return. And all they can do is hope that the next fight doesn't go as horribly. And when this Baron buff wears off, they're able to sneak in, grab a Drake, grab a fight, grab a couple kills. But right now, it's just not looking in their favor, despite such an early dominance showing from River.
Yeah, the early lead from Jinx has not translated to much because the rest of the team doesn't have. They just don't have the utility picks. They don't have much peel. They don't have much durability to try to fight front to back. Uh, the Rangers team fights have been very scattered.
Yeah, they haven't been coordinated at all, like you said. Very scattered fights, very rough fights on their team. Whenever they seem to take fights, it's always because, Ibiza has forced those fights on top of them instead of them opting for the fight. So one thing I want to see going into this next 2 minutes of valuing, I want to see them, potentially be the ones to start the fight, be the one to start the play, and look for it themselves. But it is just Chitin with such a huge CS advantage, huge gold lead, huge in terms of items. Looking for that last one, more than likely going to be a Shadow Flame. That last Hextech Alternator, he is just going to look to pop someone 100 to 0 with just one Q. Right, the arcane flying out, just looking to get some damage down.
Oh my god. Jinx Rivered has to
Force the
flash
flash.
away.
Jeez, brother, that is a little bit ridiculous, and that's why I say Xerath a little bit sleeper OP, able to do stuff like that in this current meta where he's just able to scale for free.
And Chitin's level 17. The closest one is Barak at 16, but River's only 14 and Peacemaker's 11. The XP advantage is still big there too.
Advantage is stunning on their side, and it's just really how they look to use it here. They're looking to group up finally in this mid lane, maybe look to push bot lane out. As there's a minute left on this next Hextech Drake. This is the penultimate soul point for the side of Waka and
Oh,
Squad, but it is going to be
Sidarian goes in
Sudarian.
with the Fate Sealed, but it's sidestep.
So close. He almost died making that play, that hero play, and I think that may cost his team the Drake here. 40 seconds left, and they don't have any vision on that bot side of the map. But it is Burrock with the package, looking for a play, looking for opportunity. Like I said, if they can force this play on top of Ibiza, it's a one game for the Rangers, I think, because the River is so strong. 3 items, and he didn't wait. He didn't go for IE. He went for Bloodthirst on the Jinx instead of IE.
Yeah, they went for
Oh
the
no!
safety. They needed the shield and the sustain to try to live through Chitin.
I think that's a huge blunder. I think that's a huge misbuy. I think you just need the damage coming out from the IE. I think trying to sustain through this Xerath at this point is a little bit lost, but
Well, there's the Shirelias. Popped Corky has the package.
Orchid.
They are going on I Praise God, but he gets out. Now Chitin flashes out. Sona's running away. Chitin goes unstoppable. Barak goes down. There's a double kill for Chitin. The right of the arcane takes out Peacemaker. Kobita kills Rivered, and that's a 5-for-1 ace for Ibiza.
Yep, they forced the fight, but they just didn't. They overforced the fight, right? There's such thing as forcing a fight successfully and then overforcing a fight. They wasted so much on trying to grab Kite in there, and they just weren't able to do it. He was able to flash out, he was able to survive, and he was able to get the most importantly, he was able to get the right of the arcane off and just pop everybody who was standing in his way. Just so disgustingly strong on the stairs, and yeah, just now reaching 2 items on Cooper. It might be the end of the game here. Nope, that timers weren't long enough, and they just didn't feel comfortable enough to take the fight. So just resetting, looking to get wrap gold, and it will be AP Kaisa. So a lot of poke damage. Oh my gosh, the poke damage just vastly outranged Rock and River, even though they are relatively long range champions. It's a rough game coming out for this Corky here, and for Cooper and Trundle.
Yeah, it's going from bad to worse. The force of nature going for anything to try to survive this meat grinder between the long range Kaisa, the long range Xerath, just trying to be able to exist on the same screen as them.
I mean, realistically, they won't be existing on the same screen because Arishan and Titan are hitting you from 6 screens away like this, and
Oh my
Peacemaker,
god.
that's just one.
Peacemaker uses oh
That's he two shot. Two shot. I think this could be the end of the game, folks. It's going to be Arishan, Waka, Ice Praise God, and Titan marching down the mid lane. They're looking to stun up on the Sandarian. So much
the
damage down on that
W
lane.
from Kaisa takes a chunk out of Sidarian, and now Chitin goes legendary. Barak is down. Kobita comes in with the teleport, and now they're going for the Nexus turrets.
Corky just didn't stand a chance.
Teller
And
comes in.
stun
Sidarian goes in with the E, but now Kobita gets the Gnar into the Nexus, and that's nothing the Rangers can do, and that's gonna be game.
that was the Chitin show. That was the Chitin show. That was the Xerath doing Xerath things. That was the Xerath looking for the opportunity, just popping the ult whenever he could. Because when you're 6 items, 25 stack Magi's, why not? Just go for the kills. Just go for the ultimates. Just go for those crazy plays that may not work in solo queue, but in competitive play when they're so far behind, and they're so far behind. Just go for it. So it will be CB Ibiza beating out CB Rangers in the CB Bowl. Very very nice stuff. And yeah.
The damage is absolutely mental.
Yeah.
41,000
Damage
out
was a
of
little bit
Chitin,
crazy. Just a little bit.
and yeah, the next highest damage was 17,600. Chitin almost did as much damage as the entire Rangers lineup.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, so Zareth very sleeper OP into picks like Corky because Corky can't do anything, and that happens. So yeah, this is the I think this is a lesson for all teams watching this. Just to, if you opt to pick the Corky yourself, be very very careful of that Zareth coming out because it can do work if the in the right hands.
Yeah, play more Zareth. That's the lesson I've learned tonight.
Oh my god, the damage charts. It's insane. I looked at it myself now and I just, oh brother. That's not he was just smacking them with his money at that point. That is absolutely absurd. But congratulations to CBI Ibiza. They will be up. CB Rangers. Very, very good stuff. And yeah, I think that's all from us tonight, right, Jeeves?
Yeah, that's the last game we have for you. Thanks to all the teams tonight from all three divisions putting on a really good show. Thanks to everyone that was on stream two. I had a great time here on stream one. I guess, yeah, we'll see you next week.
Yes, we will.
I can feel it rising. I can feel the wind on the back of my neck, chasing the horizon. Sun is going down, we ain't headed home yet. I can feel it building, pressure so high.